The McKinney Lions, Coach Bobby Reyes has seen sparks of potential, but McKinney is yet to unleash its best. 48 minutes of effort. Tonight they look to for their first district win in District 9 4A against the 2007 team to beat, Lake Dallas, who stands atop District 9 4A. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ron Poe Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, Jay Lindley, Rob Johnson, and John Leidy on the sidelines. It is pretty much the best team versus the worst team in the district, and unfortunately for McKinney fans, it's the McKinney Lions who are not accustomed to being the worst team in district.
Yeah, that's exactly what this game's got to be. I mean, you know, at this point of the season, you know you're not making the playoffs. You're mathematically eliminated. That's happened a while. But I'll tell you, as a team that's actually been mathematically eliminated, it's really fun to play the role of a spoiler.
Well, and they do have that chance. You know, for tonight, this game is far more important for the Falcons of Lake Dallas than it is for McKinney High. Lake Dallas is looking at securing a title in District 9 4A. And, hey, the Lions may catch them looking ahead. Next week, of course, they got the big matchup with Frisco. McKinney tonight, a home game, possibly knock them off here at Ron Poe.
Yeah. Go ahead, Monty.
I was just going to say the Lions are 1-2 against Lake Dallas going back to 2004, but they have outscored the Falcons 64-55 in that series.
You know, definitely two different teams. You know, the prior teams had, well, not obviously the best offense, but they had a consistent offense, if you will. And you know, right now with this McKinney team, the Lion offense has really been erratic. The only thing that's been a constant is the lack of a running game.
And you want to know how bad it has been this year for McKinney. They're giving up 28.38 points per game, which you say, you know, that's not terrible, but when you're up against the tradition and history of the McKinney Lions, it is the 9th worst defense in school history when you compare the number of points giving up per game, and that is not a direction that Coach Bobby Reyes wants to continue.
Well, it's really weird because at the very beginning of the season, when they did very well in the non-district games, we weren't drinking Kool-Aid yet, but we thought we had hope for the district, and I would have thought at this point an 0-5 record.
Well,
I would have thought it.
At the same time, you know, the defense has struggled as far as giving up points, but it's also a product of the offense not being able to move the chains and keeping the defense off the field.
This team has massively struggled on third downs. They cannot stay on the field. They cannot convert third downs. Yet on the other side of the ball, they cannot stop third downs. Third downs have killed this team on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and if you can't do either one, I mean, that's the recipe for disaster. I mean, because if you can't convert third downs, and conversely, if you can't stop third down conversions, you're allowing the other team to have long drives, and you're not getting long drives in the process.
We'll give you one more stat on the McKinney Lions, which isn't good, and then we'll focus on the good things of McKinney. But the Lions right now currently have lost 4 straight at home, and the last time that happened was in 2002, but they were in 5A. So let's take away 5A. And the McKinney Lions, the last time they lost 4 straight at home, well, it wasn't even at this stadium. It was at Newsom Stadium back in 1955, the last time the McKinney Lions had lost 4 straight home games. And tonight, if they lose, it would be 5.
Man, let's talk about some good things, Monty.
Well,
we need to pep it up a little bit.
Well, let's talk about some good things. And the Lions do have a bright future. They have several sophomores starting and have all season long, including the quarterback Zach Lee and his favorite wide receiver Matt Lipka. Lipka on the season, 682 yards and 9 touchdowns as a sophomore is tremendous. And while his quarterback Zach Lee has thrown for 1,333 yards, 11 touchdowns, and then amazing, 9 of his 11 touchdowns have gone to his sophomore compadre over there, Matt Lipka. And the good thing, I guess, for Zach Lee, as a sophomore, he's only thrown 4 interceptions, and that's key.
Yeah, that's the stat I was going to highlight. His touchdown-interception ratio as a sophomore is fantastic. I'm going to tell you, at any level, junior, senior, whatever, that 11-4, that's a fantastic ratio. And the fact he's doing it as a sophomore, I mean, you can't help but think that there's going to be a bright future ahead, especially when his favorite receiver is the same level as him in terms of grades, and they're underclassmen.
Well, we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll come back with the Senior Spotlight and the Coaches Show coming up in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Poe Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Jay Lindley and John Leidy and Rob Johnson and our old super secret spotter guys. In the
Can we
booth
name
right
his
now.
name yet?
No.
All right.
No, we don't give that away. But tonight, Lake Dallas and McKinney, the McKinney Lions, who come in at an un-McKinney Lion-like 2-6 on the year and 0-5 in district, while Lake Dallas comes in 7-1 on the year and 4-1 in district. And the only loss for Lake Dallas was 2 weeks ago to the Colony, 22-20, a nail biter with the Colony.
You know, you look at the top of the district, and you know, at the time we were thinking, oh man, they lost to the Colony. This could be the break. This is going. Could they not have picked a better team to lose to? Because right now they're at the top of the district, and the way all the tiebreakers work out, they're number one because they lost to one of the worst teams in the district. You know, it's funny how that worked out. And obviously they're going to have to win out. You know, they got Frisco next week, and right now those teams are sitting at 4-1, but they've beaten Little Elm already.
Yeah, to go over the district race, right now we have 3 teams sitting at 4-1. The Frisco Raccoons, the Lake Dallas Falcons, who are here tonight to play McKinney, and the Little Elm Lobos, which are taking on McKinney Boyd tonight. And Boyd, in order to get into the playoffs, are going to have to knock off Little Elm tonight over at their place.
Yeah, because what that'll do is put both teams as 2 lost teams, and then what it'll do is give Boyd the tie-breaking advantage. So, I mean, their season's going to be make or break tonight. And as it stands right now, obviously McKinney's out, and in theory, North is still alive, but for all intents and purposes, their hopes are on life support too after their loss last week to Lake Dallas.
One statistical anomaly, I guess, for this game is that McKinney has scored 130 for the year, 130 points, and given up 227. Well, Lake Dallas flip it around. They've scored 228 and given up 130. So the final score of this game should be 28-16 Lake Dallas.
Of course, I like Jay's answer. We were talking about it earlier in the game, and I knew what he was going to say. And I go, so what does all that mean?
Absolutely nothing. I mean, you know, on paper it sounds fine, but, you know, they've played different teams throughout the season. It's not that simple. The one hope that McKinney can have going into this game is Lake Dallas. Their offense has struggled of late. Of course, they had a big injury last week. They lost running back Jarrett Beggs, who was the leading rusher on the team. He is out for the remainder of the season, torn ACL on his left leg, and so he is done for the year. Now, he will be back next year, but a star running back, he'll be sorely missed by the Falcons. But even then, even before that injury last week, they've struggled the last couple of games. The first 6 games of the season, they put up 132 first-half points. The last 2 games, they've only scored 7 points in the first half. They scored 7 points last week against McKinney North to cut a 14-0 lead in half going into halftime. But this is the Lake Dallas team. Their offense has sputtered of late.
And don't forget, this is a team that was in 3A not too long ago. Since moving up to 4A, they're 27-10, and that's that's not normal.
And 18-3 going back to the beginning of last year, so they don't lose. They're tough.
Head coach Michael Young has done a tremendous job with that program, and they've made the playoffs for 4 consecutive years, and it'll be 5 now, assuming everything holds. And I believe John Leidy has something down for us on the sideline. And John, we're getting close to the officials and the coin toss and all of that stuff, but I don't know if John is actually hearing me or not.
Well, he will in about 10 seconds.
We'll take
delay.
We'll take the chance and see if he hears us. Go ahead, John.
Turn the mic on, John. I guess it is.
And maybe not. We don't hear him, so. Oh, well, we'll try again.
We're experiencing technical difficulties.
Sorry about that, John Leidy. We'll get back to you. And we'll get back to everyone as we're going to take a quick break right now on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium, where we're about to have the kickoff. Let's try to check down with John Leidy again. We'll try to connect with John and see if he can actually hear us. John, if you can hear us, we're going to try this one more time. Go ahead. And still nothing. So we don't have John tonight for some reason at this point. So we'll try to work on that and get back with John Leidy because we're having technical difficulties with our sideline. But we'll be back with that later on. Until we can get that sorted out, we'll discuss a little bit more with Jay Lindley about this football game.
Well, of course, one thing tonight, it is senior night. I think that should be mentioned, senior night tonight for the McKinney Lions. And, boy, what a contest, though, with Lake Dallas coming to town. We talked a little bit about the Lake Dallas offense a minute ago. Talk a little bit about the defense. This is a very good defense, the most points they've given up this season, 27 points a few weeks back to McKinney. Boyd, they have shut out opponents in 10 of 16 second half quarters, and with that in the second half, only giving up 5.5 points a game. Matter of fact, they're just giving up 120 passing yards a game, which does not spell well for Zach Lee and company.
Well, and ultimately, if McKinney and the Lions are going to have success, it's going to have to come through the combination of those two. And you're exactly right. That's playing into a strength of the Lake Dallas defense.
And this Lake Dallas defense, they've always been known to be a solid defense, but this year it's almost like they've stepped it up a notch. Taking a look at their averages, giving up not only just 120 yards a game through the air, but for the whole game, giving up just 274 yards a game on offense. At this level, in Class 4A in Texas high school football, where you have spread offenses designed to spread out, throw it all over the place, and then open up the running game, you would expect a lot of yards. I think it's really, really impressive what the Lake Dallas defense has done this year.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best in the district. And, it goes back to what I've said in the 3 years I've been doing McKinney ISD football. If you can have a good defense, you're going to win. I mean, it really is as simple as that. And you look at McKinney, the past few years, they've been in the race with their good defense while the offense has struggled. This year, the defense not playing well at all.
Well, and again, we talked a little bit ago about how the line offense has struggled, and it has to do with the running game, moving the chains, the spread offense designed to move the ball on the ground. And only once this season has a running back win over 100 yards. That was, of course, the contest against McKinney North.
Well, the captains are making their way out onto the field. It'll be C.J. Gonzalez, Jamario Mack, along with Michael Savarino, Ryan Hughes, and Quentin Benton. They're shaking hands out at the middle of the field right now, and we'll see what McKinney's able to do with the coin toss, which we found out a lot of these things are predetermined.
Yeah. Well, let's hope we can even get the wireless at all.
Well, I doubt we'll be able to get anything, as we're going to have to come back to we'll have to get John Leidy up here and figure out what's going on with the wireless mic tonight, as we had somebody borrow it during the week.
Oh.
So we'll see if
it always goes back to that, usually.
Something happened while we let somebody borrow it. We'll see. And the coin toss, I've yet to see who's been able to make the call here. McKinney in their navy blue. It looks like Lake Dallas has won the toss. They have deferred for the second half. McKinney will receive the football, and we'll see which way they're going to defend here.
Here's something.
Starting to get a little signal there from John a little bit. There's
maybe we need a battery change.
McKinney is going to put their backs to the south end zone, and Lake Dallas will put their backs to the north end zone and defend it. McKinney in their Michigan-looking uniforms, the gold pants and the gold numerals on the dark navy uniforms, and the gold helmets with the block M, sort of like Michigan, the Michigan M. And as quarterback Zach Lee was warming up, Quentin Benton just went over there and grabbed the ball in stride and took that one away from Zach Lee. It is senior night tonight, so we'll be talking about a lot of seniors on this football team. But, unfortunately for the McKinney Lions, or fortunately, the future is bright, and there aren't a whole lot of seniors on this team, as mostly sophomores are trying to create another bright future for the McKinney High here tonight.
Well, Center of McKinney brings Harvard, Vanderbilt, Yale, and Johns Hopkins right here to McKinney.
Obviously, there's two really solid sophomores with the quarterback, Zach Lee, the receiver, Matt Lipka.
Well, you mentioned Quentin Benson last week. Benson, he was the second leading receiver for the Lions, 4 receptions, 61 yards. So Benson, a junior in his own right, he's had a solid year, 21 catches, 184 yards. A nice compliment to Matt Lipka.
Lake Dallas making their way out on the field along with the McKinney Lions. They both come out at the same time. Lake Dallas has their big black helmet run through, and the McKinney Lions, of course, they haven't updated their gold helmet yet. They still have the blue helmet that they run through. So McKinney makes their way out on the field. We'll have the national anthem coming up here in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. It's McKinney and Lake Dallas on 97.5 KLAK. is senior night here at Ron Post Stadium. The McKinney Lions taking on Lake Dallas. A lot of parents here tonight. Not a tremendously huge crowd for McKinney because McKinney, I mean, let's grant it. Let's take it. They are 0-5 in district, looking for their first district win and 2-6 on the year. You don't draw the big crowd when you have a record like that.
Especially not on a Friday night where there's lots of things going on, not to mention, I mean, as a high school student, it's tough sitting through a season like this. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, basically at 0-5 in district play, there's lots of room on the bandwagon. I mean, that's what it comes to. If this team was 5-0,
I like that.
If this team was 5-0, the place would be packed out. I mean,
you have to rent another bandwagon.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, going back deep for McKinney, they will receive here the opening kickoff, moving left to right. They are defending the south end zone, so they'll be heading north towards Sherman. It'll be Lipka back deep in the middle, and Brett Helt and Robinson will flank him. That'll be Reggie Robinson will be to Lipka's left and Helt to Lipka's right. And they stand all at about the 3-yard line, in between the 2 and the 3. And now Lipka will stand in between the 1 and the goal line. And Lake Dallas has a great kicker. His name is Michael Murray. He can really boot this one deep. He's left-footed. They do restrain him a lot. They make him kick the pooch kick, but he's got a great leg. And he'll tee it up at the 40-yard line. Lake Dallas spreads out. They're in their all-white uniforms, dark green helmets, green stripes down the side of the uniforms, and those Toronto Blue Jay type numbers in green. Here's the kick. It's going to be deep, and it's going to be taken by Reggie Robinson at the goal line. Almost steps out of bounds. He's 1 yard deep in the end zone and decides to take a knee, and he couldn't go any further either way to take that knee.
Well, I was nervous there for a minute, Monty. It looked like it was possible that might have been fielded out of the end zone, and then he went back in the end zone. Yeah.
He was right at the line whenever he fielded that one, but he did do the smart thing by taking the knee because the kick coverage by Lake Dallas was superb.
Yeah, well, there's a reason this team's 4-1. You can't play one side defense very well, and the rest not. I mean, usually solid all the way through.
Again, McKinney has been shut out this year in the first quarter 6 of 8 times. They got to get a drive here to start things off right.
Well, 3 receivers to the right side, and Butler will stand in the backfield next to Zach Lee, who's in shotgun formation. 1 receiver far to the left. This is going to be a handoff to Butler, running right guard, and not much doing there. Maybe a yard or two out past the 20-yard line where they initially had the ball. It'll be Isaac Tawefu on the stop for Lake Dallas.
That's almost worthy of letting folks know how that's spelled and what kind of name that
Well, it's spelled Tauaefa, and he does not need to buy a vowel. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for Lake Dallas from their own 22, or for McKinney rather, from their own 22-yard line. 2 receivers to either side this time. Remember, Zach Lee split out wide left, as he always is, and Lee looks that way, throws it down the field, overthrows him. It's way overthrown, about 5 yards. A.J. Byers in coverage, but not really needed there, as Zach Lee just simply outthrew everyone.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there because I was watching Lipka the whole time, and it was a fly pattern. It was he was simply running down the sidelines and just overshot him. Perhaps he was looking more for his sidelines because Lipka was at the hash, closer to the hash.
This has been the troublesome down for McKinney Lions as it's 3rd down now, 3rd and 8. 11-19 just underway here in the first quarter. Lee drops back 2 steps, now rolls left, throws it on the run over the middle, and it's caught over the middle, making a move to the 40 and down to the 36-yard line. On the catch is Jared Farley for McKinney. Has 10 catches for 95 yards on the year. Add to it there, A.J. Byers makes the stop for Lake Dallas, the 5'9", 165-pound senior. And we'll give you the starting lineups here in a little bit, but Jared Farley making himself known early on.
I like the call. Let's open up the offense. You got nothing to lose. You obviously have got nothing to gain either except confidence. And boy, that can be a whole lot going into another season if you can build that confidence.
1 for 1 on 3rd down conversions here. 1st and 10 for McKinney. And they fake the hand to Butler. Actually, they give it to him. He's got the 35 and only gains a couple of yards. A nice trickery play, or just a great fake, rather, by Lee as Jeremy Tolliver makes the stop for Lake Dallas.
Well, you're right. That fake was what ended up getting things done because the linebackers took a step in the wrong direction. And Monty, when linebackers do that, what's going to happen is there's going to be they're going to be late, and that allowed the gain of 4 there.
2nd down and 7 for McKinney. Shotgun. Lee wants to throw. Lipka makes the catch at the 18, inside the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and down right at the 4-yard line. A great hitch, or actually like a quick in.
Yeah.
And Lipka made a great catch on the run. Jeremy Tolliver is going to get credit for the tackle again, but move those sticks. A nice timing route.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best plays we've seen the Lions run all year. It's a simple like you said, an in, but it was timed perfectly. It was right in the middle of his zone. Lipka made a nice little move and stretched it into a big gain. Now all of a sudden, they're knocking inside the 5-yard line.
1st and goal from the 4. 9:59 left to go in the first. No score yet. Here's a handoff to Brett Helt, and he'll be knocked backwards for a loss to the 7-yard line. And Isaac Tawefu makes the stop again. And we'll hear his name all night long. He's been a starter since he was a freshman. So we've said his name for many years around here.
Well, Monty, I was thinking just as that 1st and goal happened, this is where you could sure use a good running game, and then it was illustrated right there on that play. Loss of 3 at a 1st and goal.
2nd down and 7 for McKinney. 2nd and goal from the 7. Here's a fade route to Lipka in the back of the end zone, in the back corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete, overthrown a little bit. Preston Howard in coverage for Lake Dallas, but that one once again was just overthrown.
Yeah, you would think that was going to be a Willie Mays style catch, and it's to the far side. From our vantage point, we're going to be homer it up and say he got it.
Hey, we'll give it up to Matt Lipka, though. He laid out for that one, and honestly, it really had no chance. I mean, that ball was well overthrown, but he gave it all for that.
He homered, that's for sure. I mean, sold it all out, rather. We homered.
Another 3rd down here for McKinney. Lee in shotgun. Butler to his left. He wants to throw the same route. Lipka and the fade route in the back of the end zone, and this time it is touchdown time in Texas.
And I think you're going to add a personal foul, roughing the passer on this one, so I don't know what that does to change the decision.
Well, what it does, it changes the scoreboard 6-0 for McKinney. Yeah, obviously, they'll take the points here. There you go. You hear it from Mike Brook, the PA announcer, roughing the passer. Zach Lee was hit as he threw it through the fade route on the left side of the end zone, and Lee hauled it in. It's 6 points for McKinney, and they lead this football game 6-0.
Well, that's Lee's 12th touchdown this year, and that's Lipka's 10th. I mean, when they're working, they're fun to watch. And now you just need the rest of the team.
C.J. Gonzalez on for the extra point here to make it 7-0. And they'll attack the personal foul on the kickoff. So this is an ordinary PAT here for McKinney. And Zach Lee is the holder. He'll put it on the tee. Gonzalez kicks very high, and it looks like it's true. And it's not. It was wide right, apparently. So now we have a 6-0 game. McKinney over Lake Dallas. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Back to Ron Poe Stadium, where McKinney leads 6-0 over the district leaders. It's the 0-5 district McKinney Lions leading the 4-1 district Lake Dallas Falcons. But, there's 9:13 left to go in the first quarter. But, hey, it's looking good so far. A nice drive there, and we'll give you the American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap. Well, why don't we go ahead and do it now, Jay?
8 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes and 47 seconds, capped off by a 7-yard Matt Lipka touchdown reception.
American Bank of Texas, the key to your dreams. And here's the kickoff by C.J. Gonzalez. It's going to be a high pooch kick taken at the 18-yard line by an up man and tackled almost immediately. And on the return, I believe for Lake Dallas, is going to be Johnny Marquez. So Lake Dallas will set up shop from their own 28-yard line, moving right to left with 9:08 left to go in the first quarter.
That's why I love the pooch kick. It really does minimize the return. Returns get dangerous when you allow the returner to get a full head of steam, and when you pooch the ball, generally they catch it flat-footed instead of moving, and your return team is able to key on them a lot better because it's a shorter kick.
Now, Lake Dallas, as Jay alluded to earlier, lost their starting running back, Jared Beggs. He's out for the year with a torn ACL, so expect him to do some more things in the air this week. They send out 3 receivers to the right side here on first down, a shotgun formation, and the quarterback will keep it up the middle. Not much doing there. A game tackle by McKinney, and it's James Franklin, the quarterback, who was wrapped up immediately, and Cameron Peterson, the senior, makes the stop, the linebacker for McKinney.
Well, Ryan Hughes also played a big factor in that, and that's, I mean, it's not a situation where there was a good solid form tackle and somehow he got his back to the ball, but he was able to turn around, spot the ball carrier real quickly, and make the tackle.
3 receivers to the right on second down and 10. We'll call it no gain. And now in at quarterback is Zach Wagner, as they did some trickery there on first down. In the backfield, Darius Nicholson for Lake Dallas. They run a similar formation to McKinney North here, and Wagner will throw it out in the flats, and it's going to be caught in the flats. And kind of a mediocre 3-yard gain. Daniel Brash makes the stop. Making the catch for Lake Dallas is James Franklin, who was at quarterback a moment ago.
You'll see Franklin everywhere tonight. He runs the football, he throws the football. He's just one of those athletes, only a sophomore. They'll find ways to get him the ball all night, especially with Beggs out of the picture.
Well, he lines up in the slot on the left side along with 2 other receivers this time on 3rd and 6. 7:50 and rolling here in the first quarter. McKinney on top, 6-0. A touchdown from Lee to Lipka, and a missed extra point is how we have the score. Here's Wagner in shotgun, and he looks left side, slings it out there, and it's caught up to the 40 and tripped up. The wide receiver was Alvin Blackman, but he was tripped up by Andy Martinecker. He had a lot more green turf in front of him.
Yeah, unfortunately, Andy read the play very well, but it was set up pretty well that he was blocked out of the play. Nice job in recovering. And like I said, the unfortunate part comes in it's a first down. He ended up getting 2 yards more than he needed.
Well, he did get a great block from Johnny Marquez that set up the play. The second slot receiver, if you will.
Yep.
And now they'll have 2 slot receivers, 1 on each side. It's 2 receivers to either side. Wagner drops back 3 steps, looks across the middle, fires it way down the middle, and Blackman hauls it in and drops it at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, Martinek dodged the bullet there. He had it in his breadbasket and it just slipped through. And kind of reminiscent of last week to some degree, where
Montarius Pittman.
Yep, right in the hands and then right through the elbows, and hey, let's be frank. McKinney's going to need a lot of those lucky breaks. And if they can get that, the beginning of this game shaping up really well, and you hope that kind of thing can continue.
Well, it'll be 2nd down and 10 here, as now Franklin runs the option from the quarterback. He just takes the ball and runs to the left tackle, and Cameron Peterson brings him down, but a nice gain on 2nd down to bring up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and that's ultimately why, at this point, it's really going to be incumbent on McKinney to limit 2nd downs, limit 1st downs, because they're not very good at stopping 3rd downs, and the shorter your 3rd down distance becomes, obviously the lot easier it is to convert it.
3 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Franklin in at quarterback. Nicholson stands to his left. Shotgun formation now. Nicholson moves to the right side. Again, 3rd and 4, 6:30 and rolling. McKinney up 6-0. Franklin runs it to the right side, pushing his way towards that 1st down marker. Gets a pretty bad spot, in my opinion, for Lake Dallas. It's great if you're a McKinney fan. Josh Erickson will get credit for the tackle. They'll probably move the sticks, or bring them out, rather, to the middle of the field and measure this. But I really thought...
Oh, it's clearly hard. Well, here's the thing, and that's where it gets hard. He had the ball down in his gut while his head crossed, and it's where the ball was.
I really thought that he had it. You're probably right, though. It'll bring up 4th down and about a yard, maybe a half yard. Timeout's going to be called. We'll take one, too. 6:06 left to go in the first quarter. McKinney on top, 6-0. Back in a moment on 97.5 KOAK. Well, it's going to be Franklin on the quarterback keeper on the right side, and he's going to probably have the 1st down. But wait, there's a yellow hanky at the 50-yard line, and this one's coming back.
Well, they didn't even get the playoff. We got a false start, and that changes the dynamic of the thing. 4th and 1, and you got a good offense you're confident in. 4th and 6, it's a little bit more of a risky proposition, and obviously Michael Young on the other side agrees as he sent the punt team out.
Well, and again, they have a great punter, Michael Murray. They like to situational punt him towards the corners and away from people, but he has a big leg. We'll see what he does here with lots of room. He'll stand at his own 30-yard line. A bad snap. He has to get it on a hop, but gets away a beautiful spiraling kick that'll take Lipka all the way back to the 15-yard line where he calls for the fair catch. What a punt that was, especially after the hop that he had to deal with, and that'll send actually McKinney back to the 17-yard line.
Well, and we've got a flag too, and I think that this is going to be an illegal block in the back because one of the return men right in front of Lipka had blue and gold on his back pushing.
And the officials are conversing right now at about the 18-yard line where the line of scrimmage is, so we'll see what they call. It's 5:38 left to go in the first. McKinney on top 6-0 here at Ron Poe Stadium.
Well, essentially a 38-yard punt. If this is a block in the back, it turns a 38-yard punt into basically a 50-yard punt and will plant McKinney deep in their own territory.
Man.
And they pick it up.
Oh, good.
And went 55 yards in the air. An unbelievable and a high kick as well.
Well, and this is exactly what you're talking about, directional. Look where the ball is. Well, it's inside the 20. I mean, I bet if you give the guy a chance just to air it out, But when you've got a punter who can directional kick it, it means a lot more than an average does. And as a former punter, I bet you'll agree on that.
Yep. Well, they'll send two receivers to either side here. McKinney will, with Anthony Butler in the backfield, standing to the left of Zach Lee in shotgun formation. Lake Dallas backs out of a blitz. And McKinney hands off to Anthony Butler, who busted out left side to the 20 and out of bounds. Let's say he stayed in bounds, just shy of the 25-yard line at the 23. A.J. Byers on the stop for Lake Dallas.
I'm not quite sure what kind of play that was. It looked like it might have been a misdirection. A lot of times you'll get a running back taking a step in one direction to get the linebackers taking a step in that direction, then it'll go the other way. But there was a hole where he took his initial step, so I'm curious as to what happened.
2nd down and 4, 5:09 left to go in the first. Lee wants to throw, looks right side. The ball is tipped as he throws it, and it falls incomplete. McKinney fans wanting a flag for a late hit on the quarterback. David Stockard is the man who tipped the ball at the line of scrimmage for Lake Dallas.
Well, I was watching that ball kind of, a tip pass takes a lot longer to hit the ground than a bullet, and I was following that, watched it hit the ground, then looked over at the ref, and that's when I saw Lipka fall. I mean, maybe I'm being a homer, I don't know, but surely you've got to protect the quarterback.
3rd down and 4 after the incomplete pass. And again, 3rd down has been the Achilles heel for McKinney all year long, but they've been successful tonight. Here's the hitch play, and it's caught by Lipka, who makes one move to the inside and is not going to have enough for the first down. A valiant effort by McKinney, and Lipka will take the ball across the 25 to the 26-yard line, but they needed to get to the 27 for the first down, and Isaac Tawefu makes a stop for Lake Dallas.
If I were coaching, I don't know if I necessarily agree with me, but you're 0-5, why not go for it? Yeah, like I said, you've got nothing left to lose and only confidence to gain.
They called Barry Switzer Coach Bozo for that one time.
Well, yeah, like I said, I don't know necessarily that I would agree with what I just said, but why not?
Well, Bobby Ray's is going to send the punt team out.
Probably smart.
As he should. And this is going to be a low line drive kick by Farley. It'll be caught at the 50-yard line. And up to the 45 goes the return man for Lake Dallas. Josh Erickson makes a stop for McKinney. And returning that one for Lake Dallas was Paul Thurman. So Lake Dallas in great field position here, moving right to left from the McKinney 46-yard line with 4:10 left to go in the first quarter, trailing McKinney 6-0.
So like I said, I picked this up from a coach one year. You got offense, defense, and special teams, and if you can win 2 out of 3, then you've got a good chance at winning. And right now that special teams is not helping. We missed a PAT, and now, again, he's punting into more of a stiff wind. But, you compare punts, and this one came out on the way short end, and all of a sudden Lake Dallas is picking up right where they left off.
Wagner at quarterback for Lake Dallas on first down, and he'll hand off to Nicholson up the middle, and a nice job by McKinney's front line. The interior making the stop. Jamario Mack right there to stop Lake Dallas for a minimal gain on first down. It'll be 2nd and 9 officially with 3:53 left to go here in the first, and McKinney on top 6-0.
Well, I sure like the effort I'm seeing early here. A lot of times you see a team do one of two things when they're in this position. get down or play harder.
And so far they're playing harder. Wagner in shotgun formation. Remember, he and Franklin are kind of switching out at the quarterback position. The other one goes in the slot. And this time Franklin's going to wheel it over to the near side back, and making the catch and going out of bounds for Lake Dallas will be Franklin, the quarterback slot receiver. Martinek is the defender who pushes him out of bounds, and a nice gain there will bring the ball up close to the first down marker, and it will be a first down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Martinek did a really smart thing there. He came up and he started to go inside on the blocker, but if he'd have done that, he would have lost contain, and Franklin would have been able to go a lot further down the sideline. So he kept his block and then was able to make the tackle because he didn't lose that contain.
1st and 10 for Lake Dallas. 3:24 left to go in the first. Lake Dallas trailing McKinney 6-0. 2 receivers to either side. Wagner still in at quarterback. Drops back 5 steps in shotgun formation. Wants the ball, gets back 3 steps more under pressure and sacked in the backfield. Ryan Hughes among others. Back to the 48-yard line.
Hughes did a great job right there. I mean, he read the snap count perfectly. He was in the backfield as soon as the football touched Wagner's hands.
Yeah, and one of the hardest things for a blocking lineman to do is to block somebody who's quick. And you add the fact that he timed that jump perfectly, didn't have a chance. It was going to be a matter of whether Wagner was able to get out of it, and Hughes made sure he didn't.
11-yard loss.
11-yard loss will make it 2nd down and 22. And they're going to hand off to Nicholson up the middle, who hasn't had much success tonight, and he doesn't have much success there. May have got to the line of scrimmage before Mitch McLenar makes the stop, and we'll call it a 1-yard gain. 3rd down and long. 3rd and 21 here with 2:29 left to go in the first. McKinney on top, 6-0 over Lake Dallas. And McKinney's playing tremendous defense so far here tonight.
Yeah, I like what I see.
You know, we don't want to talk about McKinney as a normal 0-5 in district team. They have been in every game except really McKinney North.
Yeah.
3rd and 21 here. Wagner drops back 3 steps, looks the right side, throws it, and it's caught. And not enough for the first down. It was caught by Alvin Blackman, who made his way down to the 30.
And we got a flag thrown right as the tackle was being made, and generally that's going to be in the case of a face mask. And I believe the way that tackle is, it's going to be less than 5 yards either way.
Well, they would need 5 yards for the first down. As the ball spotted right at the 30-yard line, and they need to get to the 25 for the first down.
Yeah, and that's assuming that it's just a regular 5-yarder, and it looks like it's a personal foul.
Yeah, they did make the personal foul.
Oh, no, it wasn't a face mask. It was a hit to the head.
What an unfortunate penalty for McKinney, as they had him stop there at the 30-yard line. It would have been 4th down and 5.
And I'm telling you, as a defender, that's tough, man, because you're going at the speed of light. The offender's going at the speed of light, and he slips, and all of a sudden something's different, or another tackler does. I mean, oh, that's a killer.
However, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 15. And now it'll be Franklin in at quarterback in shotgun formation as Wagner moves over to the near slot. 3 receivers to the left side. And Franklin is under pressure, and he throws the screen out to the right side. Caught by Nicholson, who barrels his way down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Close to a first down. Josh Erickson will make the stop for McKinney. It'll be 2nd down and short. Maybe 4 yards here.
I'm usually a fan of the screen pass, but
that was beautiful.
In an instance where you're blitzing, if they could have just timed it a little bit better, like we saw Ryan Hughes do, you get him in the backfield because all the linemen are pulling, and there's not enough people to stay and block. So it looks like they're blitzing a lot.
Under center goes Wagner for the first time tonight, an offset I formation. Everybody tight. 1 receiver to the left side. Wagner is going to toss it left side. And that's Nicholson, who jumps over a defender, is gang tackled at about the 5-yard line, close to a first down. I don't think he got it. Daniel Brash is pointed out as being one of the guys who makes the tackle, but there were several guys. I think Brash was the first one there.
Well, I'm going to give credit to Josh Erickson, not because he made the tackle, but because what he did from his end position is he fought off 2 leg blocks, kept the running back to the inside, and allowed Brash and company to make the tackle.
Erickson in the senior spotlight asked if he always played linebacker. He said, no, I was a fat little kid. I played line. Shotgun formation for Franklin on 3rd and 1. Franklin rolls right side, has the first down. Inside the 5, and it's a touchdown for Lake Dallas. And James Franklin, the 6'2", 205-pound sophomore quarterback. 12 seconds left on the first quarter clock, and Lake Dallas ties the game.
Dang, you thought they had a chance there because he was kind of tiptoeing in the backfield, but the Falcon blockers were holding their blocks, and all of a sudden they were able to create that seam that they were looking for. And, I mean, that's really been one of the tough things for the Lions all year. Their offense doesn't stay out there as long because they have a hard time converting on the third downs, and then that starts to wear down on the defense. I mean, you saw a terrific start, and then it goes back to that 15-yard helmet personal foul collision.
Michael Murray on for the PAT. The left-footed kicker sends it very high, and it's good. Now Lake Dallas has the lead, 7-6 over McKinney with 12 seconds left to go in the first. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, Jay Lindley, John Leidy, and Rob Johnson will have an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap right after this Michael Murray kickoff by Lake Dallas. And it's going to be taken by Reggie Robinson 1 yard deep in the end zone. Comes up the left hash, has his legs taken out from underneath him at the 15-yard line. So not great field position for McKinney, moving left to right here with 7 seconds left to go in the first. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
8 plays, 46 yards, 3 minutes and 58 seconds, knocked off the clock. A 6-yard James Franklin touchdown run. Of course, that drive was able to stay alive with a 15-yard late hit penalty, or hit to the head penalty, I should say.
Yeah, and that one's still just because, I mean, it's not like a late hit where obviously you need to keep your head in the game. There's nothing you can do.
Could be, it's one of those that could be a game changer and for two teams like this. We'll see. 7 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Lake Dallas now has a 1-point lead, 7-6. Lee in shotgun formation for McKinney's going to hand off up the middle to Anthony Butler, and nothing doing. He's hit immediately in the backfield and lost a couple of yards there.
Yeah, a 4-yard loss on the play, Monty. He had nowhere to go.
Josh, it is the brother of Isaac. It's Josh Tawefu who makes a stop, and that's the end of the first quarter. Lake Dallas on top of McKinney, 7-6. A good one so far. Don't go anywhere at Ron Post Stadium on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with the rest of the gang here. McKinney's going to have the ball deep in their own territory. Second down and 14 after the 4-yard loss by Anthony Butler. Two receivers to either side, moving right to left now. Lee under pressure in his end zone, and this one is batted away as well. This one will fall incomplete. Right in front of his face was Scott Stanfield, who threw both hands up like Ed Too Tall Jones and batted the ball back towards Lee, and the ball fell incomplete.
Well, I got to kind of wonder, did Lake Dallas have 13, 14 men on the field because every receiver was covered, and yet it still seemed like they were able to cover on a blitz? So, I mean, just a very well-defended play for the Falcons.
I'll tell you what, I'll take the incompletion because the other choice was a safety.
Two receivers,
or an interception.
Two receivers to either side here, and Lee is in shotgun as always. Anthony Butler stands to his left. 11:57 left to go in the second quarter. McKinney down 7-6 to Lake Dallas. Lee wants to throw across the middle, and Lipka has, and it's intercepted. It goes in and out of the hands. Intercepted by Lake Dallas down inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. A.J. Byers coming across. Lipka, it was a great timing route, but Lipka had it go through his hands, and waiting for it was A.J. Byers.
Well, it looked like he was kind of surprised by it, and I don't know if it was thrown too high or not because it was at an awkward angle for us to really tell. And then on top of that, there's a 15-yard penalty at the end on McKinney. So, the killer mistakes.
Really, and honestly, it was, Lipka, that ball went right through his hand. It was a case of alligator arms. I mean, he snapped and he missed, and right there was Byers to pick it off.
But as good as these two have been, you kind of expected to see sophomore growing pains at some point.
Well, there's some growing pains for you right there. 11:48 left to go in the second quarter. Lake Dallas leading 7-6. It was a struggle in the first quarter, but they're in great position here in the second. Franklin in at quarterback to start this series. It'll be first and goal from the 8-yard line after the penalty. Three receivers to the right side, one to the left, and Franklin's going to run it left. Outside left tackle inside the 5-yard line, and that's where it'll go down. It'll be second and goal from the 5. Cameron Peterson makes the stop for the Lions of McKinney.
Yeah, just again trying to run the same play that they ran before on the touchdown on the previous drive. But the Lions were there. They defended it a little bit better and got some push on the blockers. And ultimately, when you're in a goal-to-go situation, you have to get push on the blockers.
Hey, give it to the Gold Hats. They played a whale of a first quarter. Normally this season they would be trailing by a lot. They only scored 13 points in the first quarter all season while giving up 43. 7-6 is what it was tonight in the first quarter. Here's a handoff coming from the left side to the near side and in for the touchdown.
And a flag.
On the reverse goes Alvin Blackman. There is a flag down. We'll sort this one out and see what it is.
Judging by reaction, I'm going to go with a hold or some other similar blocking penalty. And I'll tell you, that's a big break because if it is a hold, we're looking at a 10-yard penalty. And, second and goal from the 15 sure looks a lot better than a touchdown, obviously.
They will back it up to the 15-yard line. That's 14. They'll back it up to the 14-yard line.
Well, they gave Blackman with a credit of 1 yard. He does get, statistically speaking, he gets a carry and a yard, and it's from the spot of the foul.
And generally on plays like that, it's going to be from the spot of the hold, which happened to be 1 yard down the field.
Split out wide right is Marcus Drayton. 3 receivers to the left side. Franklin in at quarterback. Nicholson stands to his left. Shotgun. Franklin wants to throw. The hitch route, and it's caught. And Blackman spins away from a tackle inside the 10 to the 8, knocked out of bounds by a host of gold helmets on the far sideline, including Daniel Brash. And Daniel Brash will also be tonight's Tutoring Club Scholar Athlete of the Week. We'll give you more about that later on. But right now there's 10:51 left to go in the second quarter, and Lake Dallas is on top of this one 7-6, trying to push it in from here. 8 yards out on third down.
Well, sure like what I'm seeing out of Andy Martinek. He didn't make the tackle again, but he read the play perfectly and basically took 2 blockers away, and on that swing pass, that's all there are, and that allowed more blue shirts to come in from behind and eventually make the play.
Franklin on third down. Wants to throw the fade route in the end zone, in the back of the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown. That far right side of the end zone, exactly where Matt Lipka caught his. It'll be Blackman, I believe, who hauls this one in, and it is. And on the coverage, Andy Martinek for McKinney, but that one's going to, that's one of those where I thought for a moment Martinek was going to be able to pick it off, but I think he turned his wrong shoulder.
Yeah, I think I gave him an announcer's jinx, too. Just as I was singing his praises about how well he's played today, he gets turned around on the wrong end. And, that's really easy to do on that pattern in the corner of the end zone.
Here's the extra point by Michael Murray, and this one's going to be good. So it's 14-6 with 10:45 left to go in the second. Lake Dallas on top of McKinney. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Poe Stadium. Monty Walker and the rest of the game. Michael Murray's going to boot this one deep. And taken at the 10-yard line is Brett Helt coming up the right hash. Although a nice return past the 30-yard line to the 34-yard line. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
3 plays, 8 yards, a minute 3 knocked off the clock, and of course an 8-yard touchdown reception by the go-to man himself, Alvin Blackman, his 8th touchdown reception of the year. It sounds weird, only 8 yards on the drive. Of course, you heard Lake Dallas offense was at the 14. You can only use the original yards to goal in a drive summary. So there's your official statistic quote of the day.
We'll check down with John Leidy. I think we have everything hooked up and ready to go. We'll check with him after this first down play as McKinney comes out moving right to left, trying to get back in this football game, down 14-6. Lee throws the swing pass, and it's in and out of the hands of Benson. And that one will fall incomplete. And let's try to check down with John Leidy down there just for a moment. John, can you hear us?
Guys, you would never know that the McKinney Lions are 0-5 in district if you looked at the enthusiasm that's down here on the sideline. They are pumped up. They have game planned for the Lake Dallas Falcons, and you would never guess that they're 0-5. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks. Hey, and we have communication with John Leidy.
And it feels good.
I thought John was on the moon earlier. Here's Lee handing off to Butler in traffic. That's Robinson behind the line and scoots out of a couple of tackles. Look out to the 40, 45, 50. Across to the 45 and out of bounds at the 40-yard line in Lake Dallas territory. Michael draws, pushes him out of bounds. But really, for the first time, some big excitement in the run game for McKinney tonight.
I'm going to bet it wasn't drawn up that way because he was trying to go to the left, had to shake off one guy. You thought that one might get him, broke out, and there was another one who made contact with him. He thought that might get him. He was able to break it, and then all of a sudden he reverses field, which will make a lot of coaches cringe. But because the Lake Dallas Falcons were so aggressive in their pursuit, no one was on that far side.
25 yards on the run by Reggie Robinson sets up 1st and 10 from the Lake Dallas 41. Here's a swing pass to Benson, who makes the catch this time, and he fights his way inside the 40 to the 39-yard line, a couple of yards before David Stockard brings him down, the 5'9", 165-pound junior outside linebacker.
Yeah, they were basically the same play as we saw before, and given the fact that we've seen one incompletion and this one went for 1 yard, I would maybe suggest trying another play in the playbook. You know, let's go to Lipka downfield. It's worked once and it hasn't worked once, you know, but I'll take my chances there.
Split out wide right is Brandon White, along with 2 other receivers in the slot on that right side, Lipka near side. And they're going to hand off to Reggie Robinson again, who's shot out of a cannon to the 33-yard line. Close to a first down, maybe a yard or 2 short. The middle linebacker, Drew Hamilton, makes the stop for Lake Dallas. 9:31 enrolling here in the second quarter. Lake Dallas on top 14-6.
Nice job by the 2 interior linemen on the left side. The center, Nate Leonard, and the guard, Tyler Peterson, opened up a huge hole, and that really allowed Robinson to make that play. So, you know, running game starts with the offensive line.
They're 2 for 4 tonight on 3rd down.
Here's 3rd and 1. Handoff to Butler over the middle, and he's fighting for that first down mark, and I believe he got it. This is one where we'll check down with John Leidy. John, tell us, is this one a first down or is it not? And they may move the sticks before he hears us on our delay.
Guys, I think he actually does have this first down by about half a ball length. Back up to y'all.
All right. John says he got it. And no indication yet from an official.
From anything.
I thought they would at least bring the chains out. Now they will.
Well, if it is converted, it'll be the first time they have converted a 3rd down since that opening drive. The drive, of course, that they scored on. Other than that, the last 2 series, it was 3 and out for the Lions.
And that's been the Achilles heel for this team all year. And you can go back and look at 3rd down conversions with any team. Any team that's good with 3rd down conversions, they're usually good with putting points on the board. A team that is not is usually not very good at putting points on the board.
Well, and you'll also find in that regard that, you know, McKinney Lions offense has looked at a lot of 3rd and longs, and I tell you, it's a lot easier to convert a 3rd one like they did here. Yeah, you know, just getting the first down than it is to convert a 3rd and 9, you know. And so that helps you when you're able to have positive yardage on the first 2 plays of the series to set up that 3rd and short.
Well, good news, McKinney Lions fans. It's first down here for the Lions at the Lake Dallas 31-yard line. 9:03 and rolling here in the second quarter. Lake Dallas on top 14-6. McKinney trying to get back in the end zone. Handoff Butler, who's pushed out left tackle and right down the line. It's going to be no gain on the play for McKinney as Scott Stanfield, we'll call him 6 foot Ed Too Tall Scott Stanfield, makes a stop there. He's the guy who batted it down a moment ago in the end zone.
And this is what I was talking about. You know, now they're in a 2nd and long situation, and unless they have a really good game here, they're likely to be in a 3rd and long situation, which then makes it a lot less conducive to converting that 3rd down.
Well, it is 2nd down and 11 here with 8:23 and rolling. Lee in shotgun sends 3 men to the right side. Lipka split out wide to the left. And Lee drops back 3 steps, fires across the middle, and it's caught by Brandon White to the 15 and down, spins inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. They'll mark him at the 6, but a nice quick end pattern to Brandon White. Ashton Allen makes the stop. On the season, White has had 5 catches for 121 yards. And yeah, 6th one was a big one.
And I like that strategy. Just not go to a 3rd down. Let's just do it on 2nd and long and put us in a 1st and goal situation.
And it is 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. 8 minutes and rolling in the second quarter. 14-6. Lake Dallas on top. McKinney fighting for more. Split out wide left is Lipka. 2 receivers either side. Lee under pressure and sacked back at the 14-yard line. He was looking in the end zone for Lipka, but got caught looking a little bit too long. David Stockard is the man who made the sack.
Well, it looked like he was throwing his arm motion like it was going to be one of those fade patterns that they did for their first touchdown. But when I looked at Lipka, he was running an in pattern, and I don't know what happened. Obviously, there was a miscommunication there. At this stage of the season, that can't happen.
Well, they are 2 sophomore mates out there on varsity, so you understand things like that.
Sure.
Butler to the right side of Lee in shotgun. Lipka split out wide left. And looks that way again. Now under pressure. Shuffles his feet. Throws in the end zone. Jared Farley makes the catch. It's touchdown time in Texas. Jared Farley, his first touchdown grab of the year and his 12th reception of the year.
Great job there by Zach Lee going to his second receiver, as what happened is he was looking at Lipka the entire time, and all of a sudden he looks and there's Jared Farley wide open in the end zone because the defense was keying on Lipka.
Well, we'll see if they go for two here to tie the football game. It's 14-12. Remember, early on, C.J. Gonzalez missed the extra point on the first touchdown of the night. So they will go for two here. Lee, shotgun, rolls left, pitches it on the option. The ball's on the turf. Lake Dallas recovers. And no, they will not convert on the two-point conversion.
Well, we might have a penalty at the start of the snap.
There are Lake Dallas Falcons wondering what's going on with their palms to the air, and it will be against Lake Dallas.
Yeah, I thought I saw a flag at the start of the line of scrimmage, but one of the ball guys down there was hiding the flag, so I was like, well, maybe I didn't see it after all, but this is a break. You know, and yeah, Monty, make a good point. You know, this is not a running team. You know, when you go for two, you go to your strength, and you saw right there they tried the option, and Lake Dallas was all over it. One, because they're a good running defense to some degree, and two, you're not a good running offense.
Well, they do have weapons, and Lee and Lipka and now Farley and Brandon White who've come roaring out, and we'll see what they do here as they get another shot at it, move it about a yard closer here. And now Lee is going to call a timeout on a two-point conversion. My goodness. Well, you know, I guess when you're dealing with points, maybe it's a smart timeout. 7:05 left to go here in the second quarter. 14-12, Lake Dallas back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with the rest of the gang here.
Well, the timeout there, not so bad. Like you said, dealing with points, you get 3.5. It's not like you can hold on to them throughout the game. 7 minutes remaining here until the end of the first half. And if Lee didn't like what he saw, better to take the timeout than make a mistake.
And it's only their first one.
Yeah, not so bad. You know, at first you thought, oh, what are they doing, taking a timeout here? But when you think about it, it's pretty smart. Second down. I'm looking at the scoreboard here. Two-point conversion here for McKinney. Lee rolling right side. Has some room to run if he wants to. Throws it in the end zone. And it's caught by Vincent for the two-point conversion. So the timeout works. And they tie the game at 14 with 7:04 left to go in the second quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Jay Lindley and John Leidy. Jay, how about American Bacon? Texas scoring drive recap.
Great drive, 9 plays, 66 yards, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Knocked off the clock. A 12-yard touchdown reception by Jarrett Farley, set up by a 26-yard reception by Brandon White.
American Bank of Texas, the key to your dreams. Here is the kickoff. It's going to be taken by Lake Dallas's Alvin Blackman, who will make his way up to the 20-yard line. So, of course, to pass along, Brandon.
Yeah, we got some mixed results for the MISD right now. North and Frisco playing each other. They're tied at 14 in the second quarter, and really what could make a big difference in the district standings for Boyd. They trail Little Elm at this point in the second quarter, 17-7.
First and 10 here, and it's tied here. Lake Dallas and McKinney after that McKinney drive to put points on the board, and a two-point conversion makes it 14-14. 6:57 left to go in the second quarter. Moving left to right is Wagner and Lake Dallas, and he slings it out to his back to the right side. It's caught by Blackman. Flag down. He spins out of a tackle, keeps his feet, steps out of bounds at about the 37-yard line, and he'll get a tremendous spot about 4 yards after he stepped out of bounds, but we'll check the flag here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's coming back. We're going to have an illegal block in the back as signaled by the official. So let him spot it over in the end zone for all we care. It's going back anyway.
The line judge, I was just watching that, and I was watching Blackman's foot as he stepped out of bounds with his right foot on the 37-yard line, but he kept going a little ways, and the line judge kept going and spotted him at the 42. So he had 5 extra yards there. But like you said, it doesn't matter. It's coming back.
Real quick on the penalty, just our third penalty of the night between these two teams. A relatively clean game so far.
Let's hope it stays that way.
The ball will be spotted at the 12-yard line. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 20 for Lake Dallas. Moving left to right, and that one's a big one on first down. You never want to start 1st and 20.
Especially when you're that deep in your own territory.
At their own 12, Lake Dallas. And Wagner in shotgun formation wants to throw, setting up the screen to the receivers. Caught by Blackman, makes a move to the inside, up to the 30, spins down to the, to the 20 rather, and spins down to the 25. So not enough for the first down, obviously, but a nice chunk on first down to bring up 2nd down and 7. Ryan Hughes makes the stop for McKinney.
Yeah, Hughes initially had a chance to make it near the line of scrimmage, got faked out. Obviously a bad thing. Give him credit that he stuck with the receiver long enough to make the tackle. Granted, over 10 yards down the field. But, if he doesn't, it's a bigger game.
2nd down and 7 for Lake Dallas. I'll never forget Josh Erickson telling me today that he was a fat little kid. Here's a handoff up the middle and taken down almost immediately. Great defense by McKinney as Nicholson got the handoff and went down almost immediately. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Give him a yard.
Yeah, we've chronicled tonight a lot of the struggles of the Lion offense on 3rd down, but Monty, the defense hasn't been that great on stopping 3rd downs either, so this will be a big play in that regard as well.
Lake Dallas 4 for 5 tonight on 3rd down conversions.
Exactly.
It's 3rd and 6 here with 5:28 rolling here in the second before the halftime show. And Wagner in at quarterback and draws McKinney off sides. They went on a hard snap, and McKinney was drawn off sides. Maybe John Leidy can hear a little bit of that down on the sidelines. We'll see if he can actually hear the snap count or not. As he's right there, maybe he can get an idea and tell us what that snap count's sounding like from Lake Dallas.
Guys, they're actually debating right now whether the offense went on a hard count and drew the defense off sides, or the offensive move. But I think they're actually going to call this encroachment on the defense. Back up the O.
No good call, John.
Well, I don't know. We still don't know whether or not what I wanted was John to bark the snap count. Give us the cadence. But
John's a Cat fan anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can get that to him later on. Everybody tight here on 3rd and 1 for Lake Dallas. And Wagner under center is going to hand off up the middle and pushing and fighting his way towards the first down marker. He's pushed backwards, but maybe forward progress got him the first down. We'll see. It's going to be very close. Ryan Hughes gets credit for the tackle, but a great job by McKinney's defense to at least give themselves a shot here.
Yeah, from my vantage point, it looks like he needed to get to the 32, and the line judge on this side putting it at the 31.5, and now the official comes and makes it official. They're half a ball short. So you're inside your 35. It's 4th down, but it's 4th and half a ball.
And they're going to go for it again. Wagner under center. They'll probably try to draw him off sides. Nope, quarterback sneak up the middle. Oh, and this one's going to be close again. I think he may have got it by the hair on his chinny chin. And it'll be a first down for Lake Dallas. Jamario Mack on the stop for McKinney, but they'll move the sticks here. And it's still a nice job by McKinney to at least give themselves a shot there on 3rd and then 4th down. What Lake Dallas did is they hurried to the line and really kind of caught them off guard a little bit.
Yeah, I was expecting the hard count too, because a lot of times you get rushed to the line of scrimmage, and then you get the hard count that makes it a little easier to force them to jump off sides. But they didn't even do that. I mean, they went for the first down right then.
3 receivers to the left side. Wagner, they're in hurry-up offense mode here, and Wagner will stand back and shotgun. Wants the ball. He gets it, looks left, throws it out there, and he kind of slings it, and it's caught by Blackman at the line of scrimmage and fights his way from, well, I thought for a moment he's going to fight his way for at least a yard, and he may have, but didn't get much more than that. Daniel Brash, the safety, comes over and makes sure that he doesn't get much more than that.
I'm hesitant to sing his praises considering what happened last time, because immediately after it was a touchdown. But again, Martinek doing a fantastic job. He's taken 2 blockers with him. So again, he's not going to get credit for the tackle, but what he's doing is he's allowing the linebackers to pursue it. He's allowing the safety to get there, and they have an open shot at the receiver. A great job by Andy out there.
2nd down and 9 for Lake Dallas, moving left to right at their own 34-yard line. 3:22 and rolling here in the second. 3 receivers to the right side. Now Nicholson will move to the right side of Wagner in shotgun formation. He'll get it, and he'll roll right side. A great block from Nicholson, and he slings it out to Franklin, who makes the catch at the 45 and has enough for the first down. Goes out of bounds shy of midfield at the 48-yard line. Joseph Blaquier makes the stop for McKinney. And the clock will stop for them to move the chains, and he may have even got out of bounds. I didn't notice if the official made the signal out of bounds or keep the clock rolling.
Well, and that's a tough play to defense because there's 3 receivers on this side, and what they do is they streak it down. Franklin comes in the out where there's no defenders.
Apparently he stayed in bounds. They rolled the clock. We're under 3 minutes now in the second quarter. 3 receivers to the left side. 1st and 10 for Lake Dallas, moving left to right. Wagner in the gun. Nicholson stands to his left. 1 man to the right side. A 4-3 look for McKinney. A man in motion. A high snap goes over his head, and the whistles will blow before this one get underway. It'll be a delay of game. And thank goodness for Lake Dallas. That would have been a disaster as the ball went over Wagner's head.
Well, and the sad thing for the Lions, they're coming on a blitz too.
Timeout has been called. We'll take 1-2. Tie ball game at Ron Poe, 14-14. 2:43 left to go before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Poe Stadium, where it's a tie ball game, 14-14. Lake Dallas and McKinney, and scores to pass along what we had a moment ago. Brandon, go ahead with those.
Yeah, the 2 McKinney schools, Boyd trailing Little Elm in the second, 17-7, and Frisco and North tied at 14.
Here's Lake Dallas on 1st and 10, moving left to right. 2:43 left to go in the second quarter. And another 4-3 look by McKinney. And a spread out look for Lake Dallas. 3 receivers to the left side, 1 to the right. Shotgun, Wagner looks left side, pumps left side, under pressure, now flushed out of the pocket, escapes pressure. Now he makes his way up to the 45, makes 1 man miss at the 40, 35-30, look out, 20, 15, cuts it back inside of the 10, down at the 5-yard line. And that was unfortunate. Daniel Brash makes the stop. That's not the unfortunate part. The unfortunate part is where Wagner was in jail behind the line of scrimmage, somehow got out and just weaseled his way out along the right side of the offensive line.
I'm wondering what happened because that looked like Steve Young in slow motion. I mean, it wasn't graceful. It wasn't fast. Steve Young in slow motion.
Nonetheless, it's 47 yards and it's a first down. When he got to the right side of the field, he had yards ahead of him.
We're talking about a guy who wears number 11 out here. He kind of looked like Danny White.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't graceful at all.
Everybody tight here, and Wagner will go under center, 2 men on the backfield, and he'll toss right side, and that's Nicholson. And he runs right tackle, and he's tackled immediately at the 4-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and goal from about the 4. Ryan Hughes makes a stop for McKinney. And I want to go back to that long play, a long run by Wagner, and he did. It took, if he ran 50 yards, you run a 10-second 50. That's what it looked like.
Well, and he escaped 3 or 4 defenders in the backfield who could have had a chance to sack him, and then another guy beyond the line of scrimmage just barely.
And one Lion just fell down, completely fell down. Everybody tight here once again. They've run the toss play every time from this position. And this time they fake the handoff. Wagner rolls out, and all alone in the end zone is Franklin.
How?
James Franklin just sneaks underneath everybody and rolls about a yard into the end zone, and Wagner hit him in stride. And now Lake Dallas goes on top 20-14.
He's 6'2", 205. How do you lose the guy? He's a weapon. You know that. I mean, I understand they came with the play fake there, but I mean that's to be expected. I don't know. Oh man, that's a killer. And again, goes back to that long run.
Here's Michael Murray on for the extra point, and it's true. It's 21-14. Lake Dallas in the lead with $1:27 left to go before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Poe Stadium, where Michael Murray's kick's going to be taking a fair catch call for the 24-yard line by Benson. And how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap, Jay?
9 plays, 78 yards, 5 minutes and 38 seconds off the clock. A 4-yard touchdown reception, of course, by the slot man James Franklin, his first touchdown reception of the night, set up by a 47-yard run by Zach Wagner, the quarterback. Wagner, stellar as well, 11 of 12 so far through the air, 92 yards passing and 2 touchdowns.
So am I correct where James Franklin has a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown?
No. He has the rushing and the receiving Wagner's had both of the passes.
Franklin threw it to Alvin Blackman on the second touchdown of the night. And here's a play by Brett Helt running left side, and he escapes a couple of defenders and goes down at the 27-yard line. Preston Howard makes a stop for Lake Dallas. But it was Franklin who threw the touchdown pass to Alvin Blackman of the 8-yard variety on that 3-play, 8-yard drive. So what an incredible night so far by Franklin.
Done a little bit of everything.
It'll be second down after the 3-yard gain. Second down and 7. We're under a minute now here in the second quarter. This is going to be a handoff to Anthony Butler this time, and he'll have the first down, but McKinney apparently content with taking this to the half, a touchdown down, as Cam Smith will make the stop for Lake Dallas.
Yeah, you shouldn't be, although they're taking a timeout here. You're kicking the ball off.
46 seconds left to go in the first half rather.
You just let him get the go-ahead touchdown. And then if you're to run out the clock, you're kicking to him to open the second half. And, like I said, what do you have to lose? You're 0-5.
Well,
if you try something and it fails, you're 0-6. Not a big deal. You try something and you succeed, you're 1-5. You build a little bit more confidence with your young sophomores. Have fun. Let it loose.
Well, Lee will come out and send 3 receivers to the right side. Farley, Benson, and White on the right side, and it'll be Lipka to the near side. Anthony Butler in at tailback. He'll stand to the right side of Zach Lee, who's in shotgun formations. 1st and 10. McKinney at their own 35-yard line. Lee throws it down the field across the middle and trying to hit Benson, and it falls incomplete. That one nearly, or it could have been, I shouldn't say nearly intercepted. It could have been if the defender had been looking backwards. But it'll fall incomplete. It'll be second down and 10.
Yeah, go further down. Just let your sophomore air it out. 15-yard passes are nice. 20-yard passes are nice. Let's go for something bigger.
Second down and 10. Lee drops back 2 steps, looks towards Lipka's way, and has to fake it to him. Thought he was covered up, so he didn't throw it, and he ends up running for about 5 yards and runs out of bounds. So he does stop the clock. Moses Lopez, the nearest guy around, so he'll get credit for the tackle, but it'll be 3rd and 5 for McKinney at their own 40-yard line with 34 seconds left to go before half.
Other than the fact that it takes a little bit more time, nice solid play. He didn't try to do anything that he wasn't comfortable with, and then in the end ended up stopping the clock.
That's a sophomore quarterback growing up right there. 21-14, Lake Dallas leads here, and Farley makes the catch, enough for the first down, but he's right in the middle of the field, so they'll have to call another timeout here.
Well, what he did, you're right, he initially had enough for the first down, and for some reason, in an effort to get a yard or 2 more, took a step back and was immediately tackled.
So it won't be enough for the first. We'll keep it right here. There's a timeout on the field. Paul Thurman is going to get credit for that tackle, and McKinney will come over and discuss what they're going to do here on 4th and 1 from their own 44-yard line, and with 27 seconds left. You just punt this one away and call it a half? I think you have to.
Well, if you punt it, you might take 5-6 seconds off the clock. You'll let's say gain 25 yards. Odds are Lake Dallas they're not a big play team. They're not a high scoring team. They are a high-scoring team, but not by big plays. They're more of a grinded out. The 47-yarder is more of an anomaly than it is standard. It's not like Boyd. So odds are they're not going to be able to do it if you don't get the first down.
Lake Dallas had called the timeout, and McKinney's going to go for it on 4th down. They fire it over, and Benton makes the catch for a first down across midfield to the 49-yard line. So now they'll move the sticks. 27 seconds still on the clock.
I would have a feeling one of the Falcon coaches over there will make a fuss about that because
I don't see any.
I don't think anybody's noticed but you, Monty. I didn't notice till you said it.
Yeah, there's only 20.
Oh, there we go. Now the referee finally did.
Yeah, the clock did not move during that play at all. And you think you'd see some Lake Dallas coaches going crazy on that far side, but really you didn't see anything going on over there.
Little home field advantage, maybe.
That's how you haven't had 5 consecutive losses at home in 50 years or whatever it is.
Or maybe it's the fact they're tired of this and don't want to go into the record.
Yeah,
don't add to it at
there
Ron
you
Post
go.
Stadium.
There you go.
Well, and if the officials make the change here, they may run 7 seconds off the clock. That's standard, but apparently not.
They ran 5 off.
I'll take it.
So 22 seconds on the clock here. And McKinney moving right to left from the Lake Dallas 49-yard line. 1st and 10. Lee drops back 2 steps. Looks right, under pressure. And instead of on his way down being sacked, he throws the ball away. He tries to throw it away, and no one was near the play. No receiver for McKinney.
And they're not throwing a flag?
I don't see a
I'm
flag.
surprised. Because
There
now
it
he
goes.
comes in.
Well, they will.
I don't know how they could because there was an eligible receiver within 15 yards in any way.
The closest man near the play was the lineman, John Sumner. And I know he wasn't trying to hit the center, John Sumner.
Especially since he was blocking.
And
know?
Bobby Reyes is really upset here talking to the official.
Well, even then, he wasn't outside the tackle box. I mean, first and foremost, you have to be outside the tackle box, and he was not.
And it also has to go past the line of scrimmage, and while it may have, it was still questionable at best. You know, we all three were expecting the flag. You know, and we're about as big as homers as you're going to find.
Well, it'll be 2nd down and 10 now, but more importantly, there's only 11 seconds on the clock here for McKinney to try to get in the end zone and tie this game right before the half. Shotgun formation for Zach Lee and McKinney moving right to left. The ball will now be spotted at the 46-yard line, 47-yard line.
Conceivably 2 plays, and they have a timeout remaining.
53 yards away from pay dirt here.
And they haven't started the play clock yet. Just
Now,
next door.
Here we go.
Michael, get back to that.
Here's Zach Lee dropping back 3 steps under pressure, throws it across the middle. Brandon White makes the catch, has to, in the middle of the field, has to go down, and he's not. And now time will expire, or did it? The whistle blew with 1 second.
They whistled the play dead.
And now we'll have to see.
Michael Severino came in front of the official calling the timeout.
Wow.
Oh.
The right tackle, Severino, I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Brandon White, what are you doing, buddy?
Well,
3 yards ain't worth that much time.
Well, Brandon White, he made the catch, which was great, but he tried to stay up and wouldn't go down. And tried for more yardage, and that's what ran the time off the clock.
It was like he was trying to get the first down to stop the clock, but one way or another, there's one more play coming. Get down.
He had one idea. You could tell what he was trying to do. He took off sprinting towards the right side, trying to get out of bounds. At that point, there were about 6 seconds on the clock, and I don't know if he'd actually made it to the out-of-bounds marker from the hash with only 6 seconds.
Like I said, at 11 seconds, conceivably you're looking at 2 plays in, you have a timeout. So, I mean, be smart here.
What do you call here, Lee to Lipka?
I would say Lipka, go deep.
Yeah.
Quarterback sneak, maybe?
Yeah.
No, that's not serious, folks.
Maybe if you're Wagner, apparently it worked last time for him. Here's 3rd and 7 with 1 second left before half. Lipka split out wide left along with 2 other receivers. Butler in the backfield, Lee in shotgun formation. Drops back 3 steps, throws it over the middle to Lipka, who makes the catch, looking to get outside and can't do it. He's going to be tackled. It was a quick hitter. And Lipka goes down at the 40-yard line.
He was thinking about doing some Trinity Millsaps. He was looking for somebody to lateral to.
Cam Smith gets credit for that tackle, and that'll end the half. 21-14, Lake Dallas in the lead. You got to be happy if you're McKinney. You fought and stayed with them. The first-place team in the district. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
Finish your tackles. What you do is you make contact, but you can't finish it. The ball carrier is able to get, in this case, an extra 4 or 5 yards out of the deal.
2nd down and 3, call it. Call it a 7-yard gain there on 1st down for Nicholson. And Wagner looks over to the bench, trying to get the offensive play. 2 receivers to either side. Moving left to right, Lake Dallas. 11:07 on the clock and rolling here in the 3rd quarter. Man goes in motion. They're going to fake the hand to him, give it to Nicholson, coming right tackle, and he barrels his way for a 1st down through a big hole. And finally taken down by the safety, Daniel Brash, at the 32-yard line. We're going to give you the Tutoring Club Scholar Athlete of the Week after this play right here, after this 1st down play. And, I tipped it off a moment ago. It's Daniel Brash, but we'll go through and give you the complete Scholar Athlete
why is he the Scholar Athlete of the Week,
exactly. So first down and 10 here for Lake Dallas with 10:38 and rolling. Left to right towards the north end zone, only 32 yards away. And this time it's going to be the quarterback, Franklin, who rolls right, and he's going to be chased down from behind. What once was a little fat kid, Josh Erickson, makes the stop for McKinney. Hey, he said it. I didn't say it.
You're going to scar that kid for life.
Well, he's the one that said it.
Apparently he already is. No, but, again, they're able to stretch it out.
Well, the Tutoring Club Scholar Athlete of the Week is Daniel Brash, as we mentioned. He's an excellent student and excellent athlete. Starter at free safety, of course, and he has a 3.75 GPA. He is 63rd out of 374 in his class. Daniel Brash, Tutoring Club Scholar Athlete of the Week. Here's a swing pass out to Blackman at the line of scrimmage, and he'll make about 2 yards. Spins back inside about the out-of-bounds marker, but he'll go out of bounds after about a 4-yard gain. Josh Erickson makes the stop once again for McKinney.
And again, you mentioned the name, Daniel Brash does something. He read that play again, busted through on a blocker that forced it to go long, and whenever you run east-west instead of north-south, you allow time for the defense to come in and in pursuit and make a quick play. And so Brash, by reading that so well, right off the tip of the play, was able to keep the yardage gains to a small amount.
Third down and 6, 9:45 left to go in the third. Lake Dallas on top, 21-14. And at quarterback right now is James Franklin again, and he'll run over right guard, and he'll run for about 7 yards. Well, call it 5.5 because he's right at the first down marker. Cameron Peterson on the stop for McKinney. It's going to be very close for the first down. It'll be fourth and very, very short, if it is short, in fact, and I guess it is going to be because they're not moving the chains. And now they mark the fourth down stick about maybe a foot shy. Under center goes Franklin, and he'll get the first down on the quarterback sneak at about the 21-yard line.
Yeah, that now makes them 2 for 2 on the day in fourth downs. So, again, could be the sign of a tired defense. Monty, again, there's a reason why when your defense struggles on stopping you on third down, and usually it's because you're tired. And they've been on the field now 3 minutes, and they look tired coming out of the break.
First and 10 for Lake Dallas here. And Franklin in the backfield rolls right like he's going to run the option, but he keeps it. There's no one to pitch it to.
Yeah.
And he makes his way to the line of scrimmage. And, he may have gained a yard to the 20, so it'll be second down and 9. Looked like a busted play. Jamario Mack makes the stop, but he looked like he was going to – he tippy-toed a little bit to the right side and carried the ball like you do when you're going to pitch it. But he had no one to pitch it to, just turned it up.
Well, you look at the play, his blockers went to the left, and I don't know if there was a pitch man that went to the left, but he went to the right. So, and that's why it was an easy tackle.
And now Wagner in at quarterback as Franklin goes off the field, not even on the field here on second down. So maybe he did miss a play there. Second down and 10, 8:15 on the third quarter clock. Wagner rolls left, wants to throws it down the field, and it's caught. And I believe outside Marcus Drayton makes the catch inside the 10-yard line. And Ryan Hughes will get credit for the stop, but they'll spot the ball at about the 8-yard line now. So it'll be first and goal for Lake Dallas from the 8.
Well, that's frustrating because you can see who the play is designed to go to at the start of the play, but because of the coverage that they're in a semi-deep zone. No one's at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to run that out from the slot position just about every time.
Franklin still out of the game. Wagner in at quarterback. Nicholson stands in shotgun actually behind him, and now we'll move to the left as Wagner goes under center for a moment, now backs out, and he's going to hand off Nicholson right guard. Big hole all the way into the end zone. It's a touchdown for Lake Dallas, but there is a flag on the play right at the line of scrimmage. Might want to stop the horns because they'll probably bring this one back.
Yeah, you can tell by body language this one's on Lake Dallas. Oh, and it's a big one too, a hold.
And you see Lake Dallas, they had their flags, and they were all running in sequence, and all of a sudden the first one stopped, and they all ran into each other.
Kind of a mess of flag there. But, this is a huge break because of what it was second and goal at the 8, and now you're looking at second goal at the 18. Now, again, I have to be concerned a little bit for the stamina because they've been on the field now almost 5 minutes, and you saw somebody grabbed him at the 6-yard line, and he still scored.
It was a gaping hole on the right side of the offensive line. But all for naught. Ball's resting now at the 18-yard line with 7:39 left to go in the third. Wagner drops back 2 steps, flushed out of the pocket. He scrambles up the middle to the 10 and finally knocked down right at the 10-yard line. A gang tackle by a bunch of gold helmets from McKinney, and Ryan Hughes will get credit. But it'll be second and goal from the 10, so a pretty good 8-yard scramble there by quarterback Wagner, who's not very fast.
No, he's not. And, I got to say this because, I usually like to give credit to where it's due. Ryan Hughes, Daniel Brash, and Andy Martinek have been playing some pretty good defensive ball out there. So we've been calling Hughes names. He's been busting plays all night long.
2 receivers to the near side, including Marcus Drayton and Johnny Marquez. And Wagner will drop back and shotgun. Nicholson to his right. Wagner wants to throw. Still drops, setting up the screen. And now he does set up the screen for Franklin over to the left side. Is caught, and he goes out of bounds at about the line of scrimmage. No gain. Ryan Hughes played it perfectly. The linebacker over there sniffed it out and knocked Franklin out of bounds just as soon as he got over there to the corner. And with 6:42 left, Lake Dallas leads this game 21-14. McKinney putting up a pretty good fight here.
Yeah, I really like the way the Lion defense has made their reads tonight because they've been reading this Lake Dallas offense really well. They're right where they should be, especially in defending these kind of little screen plays.
3rd down and 11, 3rd and goal from the 11. Wagner wants to throw right side, now flushed out, on the run at the 20. Coming up, throws it across the middle, and the ball is tipped and falls incomplete in the end zone.
Boy, he had it, though.
I believe it was tipped by well, no, it wouldn't be Ty Gerald. It was tipped by one of the linebackers, and the ball just fell incomplete. Maybe it was McLenar. It might have been McLenar who tipped the ball.
That's the first incompletion by Wagner in 11 passing attempts.
Wow.
Wagner,
and the receiver had it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't throw the ball down the field. He throws a lot of dink and dunk passes out of the backfield into a slot receiver.
Oh, yeah, longest pass of the night, 17 yards. So.
And that was after a run.
Michael Murray on for the field goal, which will be 27 yards, and it's going to limp through. No, it did. Yeah, it did. It limped through on the left side of the crossbar. Barely goes through. Now, the kid has a great leg, but he missed that one, but still it goes through.
It was blocked, too. Well, somebody got a hand on it.
24-14, our new score, Lake Dallas in the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium, where Michael Murray will kick this high pooch kick, going to be taken at the 27-yard line by Benton, who has a seam up the middle and then closes immediately at the 34-yard line. Not a very long return. Thought for a moment that Benson would be able to squeeze out of that seam, but he was not. So 6:23 left to go here in the third quarter, and Lake Dallas on top 24-14. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
12 plays, only 38 yards, 5 minutes and 32 seconds, knocked off the clock. A 27-yard field goal by Michael Murray, and it's now 24-14, 10-point lead for Lake Dallas.
Oh, John Leidy having some comedic moments down there on the sideline. We'll check with him here in a moment. 1st down and 10, handoff Anthony Butler up the middle. He has a seam for a moment. 1st down and more up to the 49-yard line.
I got to say it, the running game has been suspect for here, but they have some solid gains in this game. And, again, you talk about the youngsters. Hopefully this will be the maturing process for the next couple years.
We'll check down with John Leidy down on the sidelines here after this play. 6:02 left to go here in the third quarter. 24-14 Lake Dallas. Handoff Butler up the middle again, and another 4 yards or so for Butler down to the 47-yard line inside Lake Dallas territory. Let's check down with John Leidy. What do you got for us down there, John? Go ahead.
As you look down here on the field, you kind of see McKinney's kind of they're holding their heads. You mentioned earlier that maybe they're getting tired on defense there, but they're only 10 points out of this game, and you got to ask yourself, 10 points is not a lot of points, and they can get back in this game. So let's look forward to that in the second half. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks. A good point there. Turnovers are the quickest way to get you points, and maybe they can come up with some of those as Butler will carry again, and this has been all Butler on this drive, and another 3 or 4 yards here will bring up 3rd and short. David Stockard on the stop for Lake Dallas.
And see, this is what good teams do. They're able to get not you don't have to always get big. Look at Lake Dallas. They're one of the best teams in the district. They don't get lots of yards all the time, but they get 4, they get 5, and all of a sudden they're in a 3rd and 2 situation, which is a heck of a lot easier to convert than a 3rd and 8.
This could be a quick end to Lipka, who split out wide to the right on 3rd and 2, 4:52 in the third. Lee, handoff Butler, and Butler was going to have enough for the first down, but he was stopped by the linebacker Drew Hamilton right at the line of scrimmage, and this is going to be close. And we're going to have to check down with John Leidy again because there's another player on the field. There's a player down right at the
that's the running back Butler.
Yeah, Butler took a shot. He took a shot.
Well, he had a head-on collision with the linebacker Hamilton.
Yeah. Where's the flag?
Hamilton did come up and pop him, and this was going to be real close to the first down. He's just now getting up off the turf. So, John Leidy, go ahead and talk to us.
I'm having a hard time seeing where the ball's going to be spotted at. Based on where Butler is sitting right now, that'd be about a yard short. But I don't know. We're going to see they're fixing to spot the ball. Ooh, that's going to be really close. I'm going to say about a 1/3 to a 1/4 yard short. It's pretty close. Back up to y'all. All
right, they are going to mark it 4th down on the field there. So it'll be 4th down and about now they're going to bring the chains? I believe they are. It looks like it's a little bit short, but we'll see what maybe McKinney just wants to take a look at it and see just how close or how far it is, as the ball is at the 42-yard line. And it looks like they're going to have to get to the 41 for the first down, maybe the 41 and a half.
One way or another, this is go-for-it territory.
Yeah, it has to be. Even though you're down 10 points, only 10 points, you're still in a situation, I think, where you have to go for it here on 4th and 1. You're at their 41-yard line, so even if you give the ball up, you're not in really bad shape.
And you're playing a team that can control the clock. They've done it tonight all night long. Lake Dallas has held on to the football. For McKinney, this is a do-or-die 4th down.
Well, last time they scored, they kept the ball for 5 minutes, and then before the half, they kept it for 5.5 minutes. So you're right, Jay. They are keeping the ball. And this is going to be Lee going up under center on the quarterback sneak, and I'm not so sure he got it. Brandon says yes.
Yeah, we can tell where the officials are smarking it. So.
Well, let me tell you, I'm standing exactly at the 50-yard line. Brandon is to my left, so he has a better angle than I do.
Well, they needed to get exactly to the 41, and the linesman on this side is at the 40 and a half. So.
There's another 3rd down conversion for McKinney, and that's something that they've been okay with tonight.
Well, that was a 4th down conversion. They were 2 for 2 on 4th. Right. But 3rd down, the struggles continue. 3 of 8 tonight on 3rd down.
Well, the thing is, if you convert on 4th down, that means you're usually in a short-to-go situation. So
it means you didn't convert on 3rd, right?
Right, that too.
Here's Lee, completes a pass to Farley, who splits out of its defender and makes his way down to the 32-yard line, a couple of yards shy of the first down. David Stockard on the stop for Lake Dallas, but it'll be 2nd down and short, which will make it easier for 3rd down.
That's Farley's 4th catch of the night. 69 yards, nice to gain.
Yeah, he came in with 10 catches on the year.
Well, it looks like it's going to be all for naught because as I look, there's a flag right about the 40-yard line, and it's the holding kind, so 10-yard penalty. Again, that's what kills drive. This is why you get in 3rd and long, because I'm going to tell you, if you have struggles going and converting a 1st and 10 into a first down in 3 plays, you double that, 1st and 20. Not saying it can't be done, and you know what? They're playing they're not playing like an 0 and 5 team in district.
Well, again, McKinney has lost 5 consecutive games,
all in district,
and that's not the norm around these parts here at Ron Post Stadium. Here's Lee dropping back 3 steps under pressure now, rolls out left, under pressure again, being chased down and finally tackled from behind by Scott Stanfield. And that'll be a big loss on the play. Well, not big, but 3 or 4 yards.
No, when it's 1st and 20.
That'll be second down and even longer for McKinney.
Yeah, and you can't really blame the offensive line. On a pass play, you could reasonably expect if they're blocking well to get 4 to 5 seconds to throw, and that's why it's incumbent on the receivers to find the crease and get open, and they just weren't open. The Falcons secondary is playing really well today.
Well, McKinney did have a 5-game losing streak last year, and that was the first for a while. Here's Brett Helt up the middle, and he'll make his way inside Lake Dallas territory again to the 49-yard line. Paul Thurman on the stop for Lake Dallas.
I'm not sure I like the call of running the ball on 2nd and 23. They got 5 yards, so now it's only 3rd and 18.
You made the statement, a moment ago about Lake Dallas playing the pass pretty well tonight. Do keep in mind, they came into tonight giving up just 120 yards a game through the air. Lee has already surpassed that. He's thrown for 146, but they have done a splendid job in covering.
And this is a passing district.
Yeah.
Third down. Here's Zach Lee under pressure again and sacked once again. Same guy, Scott Stanfield, all the way back in McKinney territory to the 39-yard line. They'll spot it. Nose of the ball touching the 40, so just shy of the 40. A $1:40 on the clock here in the third quarter, and Lake Dallas leading 24-14.
Well, and the bad thing is Lake Dallas controlled a lot of the clock on their first drive of the half. McKinney did the same, and unfortunately they're not going to get points out of it, so all of a sudden we're winding down the end of the third quarter, and they've had the ball once the half.
Here's Farley back to punt, standing at his own 26-yard line. A high spiral, or actually a wobbly kick, is going to land at the 30-yard line. A bounce in the Lake Dallas Falcon direction, but will not go very far. So Lake Dallas will take over at their own 31-yard line with a $1:13 left to go in the third quarter and leading 24-14. If you want to know about losing streaks for McKinney, 6 games is what the last time they lost 6 in a row. You have to go back to 2002 into the 2003 season. So we're talking about Class 5A football back then. And that's when Rusty Dowling and Todd McVeigh were head coach during that period. So they haven't had a 6-game losing streak since then, but they're in jeopardy of that tonight.
And for McKinney fans, hey, sometimes you have to go through seasons like that. The Dallas Cowboys, historic program. Remember, 1-15.
Always goes back to the program, the Cowboys with you.
Every
that
program.
in Oklahoma. But yeah, you're right. You have to go through growing pains, and it's not uncommon to see a first-year coach implementing a system struggle.
Hey, if you can go 50 years without a tremendous drop-off like McKinney has, you're doing something right. And here's Franklin on the quarterback keeper up the middle, and he's going to gain 5 yards up to the 37-yard line. Josh Erickson makes a stop. Under a minute now here at Ron Poe Stadium, and Lake Dallas leading McKinney 24-14.
Well, I listed 3 guys in the last series who I thought have played really well defensively, and I want to add Josh Erickson too, because he's been in really good position all night to make plays. He doesn't necessarily make them, but because he's in position, someone else does.
Franklin in at quarterback as they send 3 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. And he wants the ball, and he gets it, drops back 1 step, looking to throw, setting up the screen again to Nicholson, and he makes the catch at the 40 and dives for a first down, and I believe that's Nicholson, and it is. So it'll be a first down for Lake Dallas. Andy Martinek on the stop for McKinney. 29 seconds now. Clock will stop for a moment until they move the sticks here.
Yeah, and seeing this is playing right into the hands of the Falcons, because as you know, Monty, these guys are a team that can control the clock. And as you wind down the game and they've got a 2-score lead, I mean, they're working in their favor.
And I have to correct myself. That was Raymond Telemaki on the carry on that last, or on the reception. Here's Franklin throwing the ball down the field. Blackman almost makes a great catch, and Andy Martinek was in great coverage there to make sure he didn't make the catch. But for the first time, we really see James Franklin air it out from the quarterback position, and he's got a pretty good arm.
Yeah, and his receiver almost made him pay for it because he juggled the ball and it went to Martinek's hands. And, boy, that would have been a huge interception because he would have been able to at least get 10 to 20 yards on the return because, it was a long pass and they were the only ones down there. And it would have, give them the ball back without any damage to the scoreboard.
To give you the picture for Lake Dallas, they have 2 quarterbacks. One is Zach Wagner, who looks like Danny White, and you have the other, who's James Franklin, who looks like Donovan McNabb. And here's Franklin handing off to the running back to the right side, and that may be Telemaki again. And on the stop is Mitch Meklinar. And it is Telemaki. And that is the end of the third quarter. 24-14, Lake Dallas over McKinney. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Poe Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, John Leidy, and Jay Lindley, and Rob Johnson in the booth. It's the fourth quarter. It is fourth quarter time in Texas. Right now it's 24-14, Lake Dallas over McKinney. We have a score from Little Elm that you might be interested in. The McKinney Boyd Broncos leading over there 35-24, but we have some bad news for McKinney North, and Brandon will give that to you after this 3rd and 7 for Lake Dallas. It'll be Franklin in shotgun formation. 3 receivers to the near side, and Franklin is under pressure, and he's sacked. Well, he was sacked, but he threw the ball away. He did have a receiver in the vicinity, though. Jamario Mack was back there to make the sack.
He didn't even see the receiver, though.
But he did at least throw it out there in the vicinity.
Well, I don't even know, because the receiver was to the left and he threw it straight. And I understand Zach Lee had no one around, but that was almost the exact same thing.
Well, regardless, it'll be an incomplete pass. It's 4th down and 7.
So it doesn't matter.
Why don't you give us the bad news?
Yeah, well, we gave you a score of 14-14 North in Frisco. Well, apparently that was wrong, as the Raccoons lead 31-0.
Yuck. Here's a punt by Michael Murray. It's going to be taken by Matt Lipka at the 17-yard line. Fights his way to the left side. Flags down everywhere.
Well, everybody saw that.
Lipka's going to be brought down at the 27-yard line. About a 10-yard gain, but look out for those flags. So, yeah, we got some good news about McKinney Boyd leading in Little Elm, and they're fighting for the playoff lives because they're going to have to win tonight over there. And it looks like they're in pretty good position with an 11-point lead. However, with McKinney North trailing 31-0 over there at Frisco, it looks like McKinney North is probably going to be out.
Well, that'll end their season. There's no question about it. Bare minimum three losses.
Win 5 in a row and then lose 4 in a row.
Yeah, well.
What a shame.
Well, it all goes back. It goes back to Centennial. I hate to say that, but I don't know what happened there, but that's where it all started going downhill. But on the other end of the Boyd game, they needed to beat one of the top 3, which was Lake Dallas, Little Elm, and Frisco, and Little Elm was their last chance to do it. So that gives them a tie-breaking advantage, and they'll have to win the week after.
And if you talk to Don Drake, he thought they should have beaten Lake Dallas.
Sure.
But they did not. And McKinney trying to do the same thing here tonight, trailing 24-14 here in the fourth quarter. Handoff up the middle to Butler, and nothing doing there. Maybe a yard to the 15-yard line. They move the ball all the way back to the 13-yard line after the penalty. David Stockard makes a stop for Lake Dallas, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and about 9 rather. Give him 1 yard on the play.
Well, I don't want to sound like it's do or die time, but you really need to start airing it out. They've done a decent job on the ground, but they're not a ground team, and they need to get lots of yards fast.
2nd down and 9. Lee wants to throw to Lipka. The fade route. He may have thrown it up too long, but Lipka makes the catch at the 48-yard line and goes out of bounds at the. Well, they'll say he stepped out at the 47. That was one. Preston Howard in coverage. That was one where Lee, if he'd have thrown the ball down the field a little further, Lipka would have caught it in stride and been gone. Lipka had to wait up for it a little bit, made the catch, but by the time he had to wait up, he had guys right on his back.
But at the bare minimum, he's in a foot race with the safety, and best case scenario, who's in the end zone. So it's still a great game.
2 yards shy of midfield. McKinney moving left to right towards the north end zone. Lee in shotgun. He wants to throw again. The swing pass out to Farley, who makes the catch, cuts it up inside, now cuts it outside, and trying to escape 3 defenders and can't, but he moves across the midfield stripe to the 48-yard line in Lake Dallas territory. Michael Drowse brings him down.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time left, so I like the fact that he's fighting for yards. And, again, if you can just get yards, you're doing all right.
Once again, the tutoring club scholar athlete of the week is Daniel Brash from McKinney. Excellent student, excellent athlete, starter at free safety, and he has a 3.75 GPA. He's 63rd out of 374 in his class. The tutoring club scholar athlete of the week. Here is Reggie Robinson, shot out of a cannon. and enough for the first down to the 42-yard line in Lake Dallas territory.
Well, I have to ask, Monty, where has Robinson been all year? Because, Jay, I'm sure his stat sheet looks great because he's done nothing but get some really good gains.
Well, really, just a sophomore. Coming into tonight had 169 yards rushing, but after that pickup right there of 5 yards, he is, again, having a splendid evening right now with 38 rushing yards on the night.
9:56 and rolling here in the fourth. 1st and 10, handoff Robinson, and not a whole lot there. 3 men meet him, including Scott Too Tall Stanfield, right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss, and it will be a loss of 1.5 yards.
Well, just like I did Martinek in the first half.
Way to go, Brandon.
I'm singing the praises of Robinson, and all of a sudden.
Call it 2nd down and 10 again, but it's 2nd and 10 and maybe a half yard here.
Yeah, I'll put that carry on my stat sheet, not Robinson's.
Split out wide right will be Lipka, and Benson in the slot. Farley in the left slot, and Brandon White split out wide left. Robinson in the backfield. Lee will hand off to him. A big hole up over left guard, and he'll have 5 more yards to the 36-yard line. Paul Thurman brings him down.
Well, now it looks like after that big long pass that loosened the Falcon defense up a bit, because now 2 out of the last 3 plays have been pretty good runs, and the one that the play that wasn't decent, it was still a run, and it looks like they're catching them back on their heels instead of reacting, which is great.
3rd and 4 here for McKinney with 9:09 left to go in the football game, trailing Lake Dallas 24-14. And now they'll get the play clock underway.
And there was just a sideline warning issued against Lake Dallas, and that could become big at the end as the game winds on, because another sideline warning is a 15-yard penalty.
Under 9 minutes now. 3rd down and 4. Moving left to right towards the north end zone. 36 yards away. Lee wants to throw under pressure from behind and sacked. The ball comes loose. It's bouncing at the 38-yard line. Picked up by Lake Dallas, and you can hear the whistles blow. And also Lee has a flag.
Surely they're not going to get this for grounding.
Well, he has a flag laying by his left foot. Scott Stanfield was applying the pressure from behind. And I tell you what, Stanfield has been like Too Tall Jones all night.
Coach Ray's is upset. He is upset with the official. They are calling the intentional grounding.
Then what? I'm sorry, but if that's great, he was being tackled, and you're not going to have 100% accuracy when you're being tackled. You have to give him some leniency, and he was looking at a receiver, unlike what I'm drawing a blank. What Franklin did on the last play that didn't get grounding. I mean, he wasn't looking at anybody when he grounded it. And again, I want the referee to have somebody hanging on him and try to throw a pass. You know what I mean, just because the ball didn't go to the line of scrimmage doesn't mean that it's grounding. I mean, you have to interpret the rule, and if he's trying to throw to somebody, which he was looking at somebody. Again, unlike Franklin, you have to call that. You can't call that, rather.
4th down and 11 is what it'll be. 8:45 left to go in the game, and this is a crucial 4th down play for McKinney if they want to hang in this game. They're only down by 10. Lee drops back like he's going to quick kick it here. And Lipka splits out wide, and now he does kick it. Lipka is down there before the ball is almost, and the ball is going to be kicked out of bounds at about the 12-yard line is where they'll spot it. So Lake Dallas will have it at their own 12-yard line, so it didn't hurt too bad, but that's it's potential points taken off the board if you can keep that drive going.
And I guarantee you that if grounding is not called, that play is changed a little bit because it's not a penalty, and it's not again. It'll still be 4th down, but you think about going for it a little bit more on a 4th and 6 than you would on a 4th and 11.
But you have to give all the credit in the world to Scott Stanfield applying the pressure from behind.
He's been great.
He has had an incredible game for Lake Dallas. And here's Wagner in shotgun formation for Lake Dallas, and he'll look right side now, trying to find the play. He actually gets under center and acts like he's going to call for it, and then stops, looks over to the sideline, gets the play, looks at his wrist where he has the play on his wristband, and then now calls for it. Hands off up the middle, and I believe, again, that's going to be Telemaki on the carry. Emmanuel Chavarria makes the stop for McKinney. 8:30 left to go here in the game, and Lake Dallas leading McKinney 24-14.
A 3-and-out is what you need here, and Lake Dallas is going to try to run out the clock. And, again, they don't have their star running back in there, but they're more than capable of doing it.
3 receivers to the far side, on that right side of the offense, and 1 receiver to the left. That's Blackman, who has to turn around off the line of scrimmage to see the play all the way across the field. I guess he has pretty good eyes. And he gets the ball here. And there's going to be a flag as Blackman makes the catch at the 12-yard line. He got a block, but the block came right in the back of Ryan Hughes.
Yeah, it doesn't get any more obvious than that. He's leaning forward to make the tackle. The guy is behind him, and 2 hands come out right on the back.
It was actually Martinek who was being blocked, and they'll say it's holding. Or a push. Actually, yeah, you're right, a push. And Martinek, it was a great block if Martinek had just turned around.
Well, and it's a great block if the referees don't see it. Unfortunately,
yeah.
Ray Charles could have seen that one. It was so obvious.
Ooh.
Well, am I wrong? I mean, everybody in the stands saw that one.
And the booth goes eerily quiet.
Georgia. 7:51 left to go in the game. Lake Dallas on top, 24-14. And they're pushed back now inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. It'll be second down and 15 as Wagner is in shotgun formation. Look out for Franklin in the near slot on the far right side over there, as he is dangerous, a tremendous athlete. The sophomore, 6'2", 205 pounds. It's like lining Donovan McNabb up in the slot. And Lake Dallas wants to throw out of the end zone. Wagner running for his life. Finally jumps and throws like Roger Staubach, and it falls incomplete at the 27-yard line. He did the one hop and throw at the same time.
Well, if it doesn't do that, he's risking a safety. So, and under any circumstances, do you not want to get a safety here? Because now it's back to a one-possession game because they have the ability to get a 2-point conversion and a safety automatically kicked to them anyway.
Imagine trying to do a layup. You know how they teach you how to do a layup where you jump off your left foot and you put the ball up with your right hand? He was doing that, but he threw it in the middle of that motion. Here's Wagner in shotgun again. 7:25 left to go in the game. Lake Dallas leading 24-14. They're backed up towards their own end zone at their own 7-yard line. It'll be third down and 15 here. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Wagner, 2-step drop. He's going to run it out of the end zone now. Up to the 10, up to the 15, 20, 25, first down to the 30-yard line. And Wagner has done that numerous times tonight. Just a slinky wide receiver. I mean, slinky quarterback, 6'4", 195, and he's able to just slither his way down the field. Not very fast, but he reminds me a little bit of like David Douglas of McKinney North.
Yeah.
Just not overpowering speed, but just very slithery-like.
The most frustrating thing about that is that play was designed not to be a safety. I mean, it wasn't designed to get a first down. It wasn't designed to pick up 15. It was just designed to get out of the end zone, maybe get a little breathing room for the punt, and instead it turned into a big gain for first down.
Wagner, 5 carries for 70 yards tonight. 3 of those, of course, going for first downs.
Well, they don't miss Jonathan Beggs, do they?
Who? First and 10 for Lake Dallas, right to left here, 7:13 to go, up by 10 over McKinney. And now it'll be Franklin in at quarterback, and look for just right tackle and left tackle here with the run, as they'll probably just try to chew this clock up with Franklin running at quarterback. They do send 2 receivers to either side. The play clock is at 17, and now they finally decide to play some football, and now a flag's down, so probably false start by the offense, and that's what it'll be. So back it up 5 yards, 7:01 on the clock. You got to give it to McKinney. They played a pretty good game tonight.
Well, it's technically not done, although, again, it feels like it because Lake Dallas, and this is where Boyd could take a few lessons. They know how to run a drive. Boyd is usually big plays here. Let's give it Darren Alves, and all of a sudden let's get a 50-yarder. I mean, they've run, 5 plays, and they're only at their own 25?
Wagner back in at quarterback, goes under center and hands off, and right there to meet him is Jacoby Johnson, along with about 2 others. But Johnson was the first one there to make the stop. A big loss. And Lake Dallas will have it second down and 17 from their own 24.
Yeah, just immediate penetration right off the ball. they start off first down with a 5-yard penalty, and then they go back on that drive. But again, they've been able to do just enough to keep those chains moving.
Wagner still in at quarterback, wants to throw it. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, has to throw it a dangerous pass, but it's caught by Blackman, and a first down at the 42-yard line. That looked like Michael Young, not the head coach of Lake Dallas, but the shortstop for the Texas Rangers, fielding a ground ball and kind of sidearm whipping it over to first base. That's what Wagner did as he was running right and just threw on the run a sidearm throw like he was whipping it to first base. Blackman was right there to make the catch for the first down.
Well, they needed 17 and they got 19. Again, these guys do just enough to keep those chains moving and keep a drive churning.
James Tarver on the tackle for McKinney as he's into the game. 5:45 and rolling here in the fourth quarter. Everybody tight, offset I formation for Lake Dallas. And Wagner's going to toss right side, and that is the new running back, Raymond Telemaki, and a 6-yard gain on first down. Another flag on the play. The Tutoring Club Scholar Athlete of the Week, Daniel Brash, makes the stop.
And it's going to be holding on Lake Dallas, which at this point almost seems like it plays into their hands because it basically gives them another down to run time off. And Monty, they're actually doing something that I wish a lot more high school teams would do. They're absolutely running this clock out. Watch the play clock. They're taking it under 10 seconds. They're taking it under 5 seconds when they snap a play. And when the clock's running, that's in two plays you've run a minute off the clock. I mean that's invaluable when you're trying to do exactly what Lake Dallas is doing, and that's run out the clock.
And when you mix in the penalties on this drive, this is officially only the 6th play of the drive, but they've lined up 9 times.
Exactly.
Franklin in at quarterback, and he's going to keep it around the right side. And he'll be pushed out of bounds. A nice job by McKinney getting him out of bounds. Daniel Brash again, the one who pushed him out over there. 5:16 left to go in the game. And Lake Dallas leading 24-14. But McKinney trying to hang in there. And, if they can get the ball back here and punch it in pretty quick,
well,
you never know.
And in the way the game can turn, all it takes is one turnover and you're, a field goal away.
Second down and 17. 3 receivers near side. Wagner into the game along with Nicholson at running back. Franklin moves over in the slot to the near side. The first slot out from the tackle is Franklin. Martinek moves up in man coverage, and they're setting up the screen. And the ball falls incomplete, trying to hit Nicholson or off the right tackle. They let everybody come toward the quarterback. The quarterback just dumped it over everybody to Nicholson. But the ball one-hop Nicholson, and that's incomplete.
Yeah, the big danger in running a screen pass is because you send your linemen out to block for the eventual receiver. Generally what happens is a guy or two on the defense will come through and have an unimpeded shot at the quarterback, and that's really where the vulnerability is, and the Lions did a fantastic job of getting there as quick as they could, and that forced Wagner to throw off the back of his heels.
Lake Dallas 5 of 10 on third down tonight, but just 1 of 4 here in the second half.
3rd and 17, 2 receivers either side, and Wagner's going to keep it, and he's got some running room, and he's going to be knocked down shy of midfield at about the 48-yard line. He gets a great spot to the 50, so he'll only be 2 yards shy of the first down. Ryan Hughes will make the stop for McKinney, but he got another great spot.
Well, but again, how does it? I mean, this was a design play at least, unlike the last one, which was really only to get them out of the shadow of their own end zone. How do you let this guy do that?
Well, Wagner not the running quarterback of the two. But,
no, well, tonight he is.
Yeah, tonight he's been the running quarterback. I mean, 6 carries for 84 yards. It's hard to argue with that.
On the year, he had 290 yards rushing. And there is a timeout. We'll take one, too. 24-14, Lake Dallas on top of McKinney. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, Jay Lindley, and John Leidy. And we need to check down with John here in just a few moments. 4:24 left to go in the game. Lake Dallas on top, 24-14. And I don't know if John's even listening to me. He's talking to a guy over there with a gold hat on. So I doubt we'll even be able to talk to John here in just a few minutes. You got to pay attention if you want to get on the air, John.
Yeah, heaven forbid you do your job.
And he is in deep conversation, fellas. Deep conversation.
Well, all right, now it's going to be 4th and 2.
Then he waves up
Yeah, I don't know.
right before the 4th and 2 call. Thanks, John.
4th and 2 for Lake Dallas at the 50-yard line. And Franklin's going to run left side. He's in trouble, and then he gets out of a tackle and fights for the first down. Ryan Hughes will bring him down. Daniel Brash was coming on the stunt, had his jersey, but couldn't stay with him. And Franklin fought out of that and surged enough for the first down.
Yeah, there were 3 or 4 Lions that had a chance to get him before the first down, and like I said, they do just enough to move those chains.
We'll check down with John Leidy, as I know he's paying attention now. We'll check down after this first down play here. It's 1st and 10 for Lake Dallas, and Wagner will go under center now. They're trying to run this one out. Offset eye for Lake Dallas here as they're winding the play clock down. It's at 5-4, and this is going to be a toss right side. Nicholson, and he's swarmed by a bunch of gold hats, maybe a 2-yard gain. Let's check down with John Leidy. John, what do you got for us down on that probably somber McKinney sideline?
Guys, I do apologize for that. I had my headset off for a second. The score of the McKinney-Boyd game had just come across the intercom on the stadium, and the photographer was saying, "Wow, he just." So I was kind of just locked in conversation about the 3 McKinney teams. Back up to y'all.
We didn't ask for an apology. We had never mind.
Thanks for the update about what you're doing. Now what's going on the sidelines?
3:15 left to go in the game. Offset eye for Lake Dallas, and Wagner's going to hand off to Nicholson up the middle, and he'll surge forward for another 3 yards or so. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 6 or 7. Jamario Mack on the stop for McKinney. And now we do need to ask, hey, this is the last game for some of these guys, these seniors, obviously, at Ron Post Stadium for McKinney. We'll keep it right here during the timeout. But this is the last game for a lot of these guys. And I want to talk to John
Last game at home.
Yeah, last game at Ron Post Stadium for a lot of these guys. And this is senior night. I want to talk to John about, the attitudes of some of these guys that are seniors on that sideline. They have to be, you never want to go out losing your last game, especially losing your last 5 at Ron Post Stadium. And John,
they're such a promising start, too.
John's dad on the sideline. He could tell us a little bit about what's going on with the attitude of some of those guys, and maybe talk about what they're saying down there.
Well, actually, going into my senior year, I had an injury, so it really devastated me more than anything. The last 2 games of the year, I wanted to get in and play, being injured the first half of the year. And you don't want to lose your last home game. You don't want to lose your last game. You want to go to the playoffs. Back up to y'all.
Well,
all right.
John, it's a sideline report, not a John Leidy report.
We joke.
Yeah, we love.
We love John Leidy.
You know what? He really does make our broadcast better. Lightens it up a lot. Well, real quick, Monty, the score just came across. McKinney Boyd has a 42-38 lead now in that 4th quarter, so it's a game over there in Little Elm.
Ooh, a dogfight. A dogfight in Little Elm. 2:58 here, 24-14 Lake Dallas over McKinney. This is a handoff again up the middle to Nicholson, who's going to be swarmed and tackled again. Jacoby Johnson on the stop, the first guy through. And Jacoby Johnson, a senior, he's playing in his last football game here at Ron Post Stadium.
And Monty, the thing that I like about that play, that was a no-quit play. And that could have easily been, well, we're not going to win, or they've been doing whatever they want. But you know what? They didn't stop, and that's really awesome to see because of the cards that they've been dealt, but they're not giving up.
McKinney calls another timeout here as it'll bring up 4th down and 6. And, we probably at some point need to go over these seniors.
Well, you were talking, I was about to say, you were talking about the seniors. There's out of a 55-man roster, 31 seniors. So there you go.
I'll let you talk. Go ahead, Monty.
We're doing it right now. As of right now, we're doing the McKinney Frisco Centennial game next week at Pizza Hut Park. We have not officially changed that. We heard rumblings that we might actually be doing the McKinney Boyd game next week if they win tonight, which would make that a playoff contention game. So we'll have to wait and see. If this is the last game that we do for McKinney, I obviously want to go over these seniors and recognize all of them. Back deep to punt, to receive the punt is Matt Lipka, who will stand at his own 10-yard line. It'll be Michael Murray to punt this one away from his own 45. And this is a low line drive kick. Lipka's going to let it bounce. It's going to go into the end zone, so it'll be a touchback. So McKinney will have the ball at their own 20-yard line with 2:41 left to go in the game, down 10 points, and a shot here. You know, at some point you got to just let Lipka and Lee make a play, don't you?
Well, and you know we've seen the emergence of a couple of other receivers in Brandon White and Ty Gerald, so you know they have big play capability. Obviously, the guy with the speed and the quickness is Lipka. Obviously, you know, Gerald is more kind of a Jay Novacek style receiver. He's got solid hands and he'll catch what's thrown in his direction. But you need to utilize everybody because as we saw with the Gerald touchdown, Lee was staring at Lipka the entire way, and all of a sudden Gerald came free because everybody thinks it's going to Lipka. So utilize that. But the theme is the same. You have to go long.
Lee in shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the right side. He wants to throw, obviously, and he throws it to Ty Gerald, who makes the catch at the 25, up to the 30 and out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Call it the 34. Pushing him out of bounds was Jeremy Tolliver. The clock stops at 2:35. So Ty Gerald with his first catch of the night.
That better issue that apology real quick. I was actually referencing Gerald Farley.
Farley also can be Jade Novacek-like.
Yeah, that's actually who I was talking about. Just the wrong name was applied.
3 receivers to the left this time. 2:35 left to go. Lee wants to throw. Flushed out of the pocket. Gets a block from his left tackle. Still flushing out. Once again, throws it away as he's going down. The official does not throw the flag this time.
Well, they absolutely can't. He was outside the tackle and went beyond the line of scrimmage. So I'd like to see him try on that one.
It was Josh. It was Josh Tawefu who was chasing him down. Of course, Josh and Isaac, the Tuefa brothers, playing that defensive front technique. And this time it was Josh chasing him down, the sophomore. It's got to be fun for those two brothers there, one sophomore, one senior, getting to play next to each other.
Yeah.
For Lake Dallas. There's Lee dropping back 3 steps. Now steps up in the pocket, looking left, throws left. Lipka makes the catch, 45. Escapes one defender, coming near side. Stiff arms one defender to the 50, 45, and steps out of bounds at the 44-yard line. So that stops the clock at 2:17. David Stockard pushes him out of bounds.
I didn't expect it, but that came really close to unnecessary roughness because he clearly stepped out 5 yards before he was brought down to the carpet.
Well,
but
actually, Lipka stepped out probably by 3 yards and came back in. It'll be 1st and 10 here. Lee gets it, looks left, Lipka's way, throws it, and it's Jared Farley who makes the catch at the left hash near the first down marker, maybe a little short. David Stockard again makes the stop. I think it's going to be about a yard short, but he may have gotten a pretty good spot there. So they stop the clock at exactly 1 minute, and I don't know if they're going to measure or not, and I think they will. They'll measure here. It'll be 2nd down and real short, I believe. I don't think he had enough for the first down, but they are going to go ahead and measure and see what this one is.
Well, and the important thing about this one is at least it's showing them they have the ability to do it. They started this drive at 2:30, and it's now an even 2 minutes, and they've gained over 50 yards.
This is actually just going to be a little short. I don't think they're going to measure, but they're just taking their time, spot the ball, and kind of giving McKinney a chance to catch up on this. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks, John. It will be 2nd down and short. Lee in shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the right side, 2 to the left. One man jumps off sides, and he's pointing to John Sumner. It's going to be Scott Too Tall Stanfield on the right side of the defensive line.
Well, the thing is he may have made contact.
And John Sumner is the guy he was pointing at, the left tackle, and I believe he's going to go against Lake Dallas.
Yeah, he did. What happened is you can jump all you want to, except for a couple of caveats. If your jump makes the other move, or you jump and you kind of brush him a little bit and then get back, as soon as you make contact, it's a dead ball foul.
3 receivers to the right side, 2 to the left. Under 2 minutes, $150 and rolling. Pressure. Lee throws it. It's caught. Benson at the 20-yard line. Actually, is down at the 21 at the right hash. Clock rolling. Michael Dross makes the stop for Lake Dallas. It's about possibly a 7-8 yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 2 here. 3 receivers bunched up looking for Lipka. Lee's under pressure. He throws it, and it's in and out of the hands of Benson. Bounces off one defender's hands, and the ball finally falls on the turf. But that one could have been trouble. It was Ashton Allen who had it bounce off his hands after it bounced off Benson's hands.
Well, yeah, and the thing is Benson barely deflected it, so basically Allen caught the full brunt of the pass when he wasn't expecting it.
It was a great job by Lee just to get out of pressure that was staring him right in the face. He just turned his back to the pressure and found Benson and fired it to him. Bullet.
Yeah, you almost wonder if he should tone it down just a bit to make it easier to catch.
3 receivers on the left side. Lipka split out far that way. And Lee wants to run it right up the right hash. Lots of room down to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, a great call. And that's exactly what Lake Dallas did earlier with Wagner. This time Lee does it, gets the first down, stops the clock, and then they're already set to go for the next play.
Michael draws, makes the stop. $1:19 on the clock. They'll move the chains. 24-14 Lake Dallas over McKinney. McKinney threatening here. McKinney with 1 timeout left. Lee drops back, and he wants to throw, and he has his man Lipka, who makes the catch at the 5, spins and turns. It's touchdown time in Texas. Lee to Lipka, 12 yards. And we have a 4-point ball game.
And it's touchdown number 2 between those two. Nice job, first off, for a couple of reasons. One, Lee was under pressure. He escaped it, was able to look downfield. Lipka was open for a while, but he couldn't get it to him because of the pressure. He threw it a little high. Lipka reached up, grabbed it, then fought off 2 defenders to stretch and make it to the end zone.
Here's the PAT, and this one never had a chance. It was blocked at the line of scrimmage. Now there's a fight for it. It's on the ball at the 30. And coming up with it, I believe, is McKinney, so that'll save at least 2 points. So there will be no 2-point conversion, no 1-point conversion.
Well,
it's a 4-point game.
And here's the thing, we may get another chance at this because there is a flag. What happened in the scramble is somebody from Lake Dallas, I didn't catch who it was, pushed a McKinney Lion to the ground from the backside. Now, if that's the case, and I'm hoping is it half a distance to the goal, you may try to go for 2 here because a field goal, which, given how suspect it's been so far, you may be able to win you the game.
John Leidy is usually pretty good at sorting stuff like this out, and we'll have to check and see down the sidelines if he's got anything for us here in a moment.
Because it's not a dead ball foul because it was during the play.
Guys, I'm actually stumped on this. The McKinney Lions are actually still out on the field. The Lake Dallas Falcons actually went back to their sidelines. So Lake Dallas kind of thinks that the penalty's against McKinney and they're just going to decline it. But McKinney thinks that it's against Lake Dallas. So they're taking the ball back to the goal line. So I'm going to guess that it's against Lake Dallas, and we're going to have another try just back at the y'all.
Well, I think you guessed right there, John, because they are moving the ball back. I don't know what the exact infraction was at this moment.
Well, and the thing, there was no change of possession. So any foul that occurred with McKinney having the ball.
And I would have thought that the penalty came after the extra point try and would be.
Well, but the play is still going on, and again, McKinney could pick it up and run it in for 2. So since possession hasn't been changed.
Well, this is crucial. This point is very crucial because it makes it a 3-point game, and we know from watching warm-ups.
Oh, I wish they'd go for 2.
We know from watching warm-ups that C.J. Gonzalez can hit from 42. Here's the extra point. And it's good. It's a 3-point game, 24-21, a buck 04. Get ready. We're ready for the onside kick in a moment. 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, Jay Lindley, John Leidy, and Rob Johnson. And a happy American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap is going to come up right after this kickoff. And C.J. Gonzalez is going to tee it up, and we know what's coming. It's the all-important onside kick. It's going to bounce at the 48. It didn't go far enough. McKinney came up with it, but it didn't go far enough.
Well, let me ask you, because I think it touched him prior to 10 yards, but they didn't recover it till after 10 yards. And I would think you can't touch it before 10 yards. But they clearly did, and that's what the officials are talking over right now.
There's no way the ball went 10 yards before they touched it.
No, that's the case, and that's fairly much the ruling. But as you can see, down there on the sideline, McKinney obviously, well, they're not going to be happy with the call one way or the other if it goes to
right. The McKinney
Lake Dallas.
fans aren't happy with it. Of course, the McKinney fans are about 30 feet below where we are. We have, a pretty good judge of the field. Now, Bobby Ray's is upset. He's
so is
really
Andy
upset.
Martinek.
Now
And he just got
now there's a personal foul.
Well, Andy Martinek was clearly animated in whatever was going on. I mean, hands were flying, body was moving. He was clearly yelling something, and whenever that happens, something's going on that shouldn't be, and then the flag will come out almost every time.
Martinek, one of those seniors, so he's got to be frustrated.
The last game that he's going to play at Ron Poe Stadium, and here's Lake Dallas coming out on the field. They'll have it at the McKinney 48-yard line. Bobby Ray still not happy and finally putting his headsets on and backing his way to the sideline.
Well, Andy Martinek's no longer on the field. His backup, Jared Johnson's in there.
Well, there's a lot of backups into the game right now as well. And, McKinney only has one timeout left. There's a $1:04, and they trail by 3. And, to me, I just saw it that McKinney touched the ball too early.
Yeah, that's clear what happened.
I thought it was clear as to what happened. Now, Bobby Ray's had a different idea. He was clearly upset that Lake Dallas got possession right here.
Well, and there's a lot of times a coach will know, and I'm not saying that's the case here, but be that way because it instills down into the official like, well, maybe we did, obviously look at him. He's genuinely that way. And, again, we may have just had the better angle. Now, what I was hoping for the homer in me was that the rules are different at the high school level, which, obviously in this case it's not.
And you hear the boos, and that's from the McKinney crowd as they mark off the 15-yard personal foul against McKinney here. And we'll check down with John Leidy. John had a pretty good view of that probably, even though we had a great view from up here. I'd like to know what the view was down on the field as Wagner will go under center here, and they'll just take a knee, I'm sure, and they do. John, are you down there? Can you tell us what you saw on that onside kick?
Guys, McKinney did touch the ball prior to the going 10 yards, and then Lake Dallas did recover the ball there. Actually, I thought McKinney recovered the ball, but actually Lake Dallas did, and they just went ahead and declined the penalty. And there was a 15-yard penalty on Andy Martinek for a little fouling, which is what it was. Back up to y'all.
All right. Well, we can assume what it is. Anytime a personal foul comes down on the field, it's usually somebody's saying something about somebody's mother or something like that, So
can't we all just get along?
It'll be 2nd down and 11. Again, this is the last game at Ron Poe Stadium for all these seniors here at McKinney. But hey, there's another week to go. Currently, they have a 5-game losing streak at home at Ron Poe Stadium, which is the longest since 1955. And way back at Newsom Stadium, which is just east of here.
And Holmes now.
Yeah, there's a home over there. This is the first 5-game losing streak by McKinney at this stadium, as this stadium was opened in 1962. And also, McKinney now has an overall 6-game losing streak, which is the first since 2002 and 2003. 1 minute on the clock, and no timeouts left for McKinney, and this one will do it. We'll have to snap it again, at least one more time, maybe 2. They'll reset the clock here. It'll be 3rd down now after they just took the knee there.
They can hope for another twice, but yeah, this will take under 25 by the time it's all said and done.
Some of the seniors playing in their final game at Ron Poe Stadium, of course, Andy Martinek. And also Philip White, Ty Gerald, Ryan Hart, Xavier Pinkay. And here's another knee, and there's 22 seconds on the clock. Also Anthony Butler, Ben Mosley, Kenneth Greer, Dominique Holmes Haithcox, and Dreamin Thornton. James Tarver, who got into the game tonight. The game is over, by the way. It's at 4-3-2-1. P.J. Bozeman, Stephen Peterson, Matt Obozinski, Landon Lyle, Daniel Brash, Mitch McLenar, Rodney Zimmerman, Cameron Peterson, Michael Savarino, John Sumner, Francisco Salazar, Matt Starkey, Chris Philpe, Michael Cummings, Doug Johnson, Michael Choate, Jacoby Johnson, Josh Erickson, Manuel Chavarria, and Humberto Villasenor. Lots of those guys playing their final game here at Ron Post Stadium. This is such a tradition-rich program, and Ron Post Stadium means so much to these kids. These gold helmets mean so much to these kids. There's one more week left to wear those gold helmets for these seniors, but it's the final time they get to walk on this field as football players at McKinney High. We're going to take a timeout. 24-21, Lake Dallas ekes by, although they controlled the game tonight. We'll be back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium, a somber McKinney Lion bunch. And singing the school song there. And John Leidy going to try to catch the Torchmark Corporation star of the game, which will be Daniel Brash. Played a whale of a game on defense. A senior, Daniel Brash, number 40 down on there on the sideline, and we'll try to get him and a couple of others. Of course, John's going to bring out a couple of offensive linemen, I'm sure. And now he does get a hold of Daniel Brash. John, go ahead down there when you get a chance. Go ahead.
I do have a couple of offensive linemen, but first we're going to get to our our tutoring club scholar athlete of the week, Daniel Brash, and he is also a senior, ranked 63rd in the class, if you didn't know that already. But we have to say congratulations on that, and any words that you can give to maybe some of the youngsters out there about their grades?
Just don't slack off in school. I mean, I dropped down actually the last year because I just slacked off kind of a bit the second semester of my junior year. So just don't slack off and keep your grades up, work hard.
Kind of sliding into that senioritis a little early there, were we? But also, you are a senior. Can you talk about being a senior on the football team and a leader?
It's great being out here, being a senior. I love all my senior brothers. I love everybody out here. I mean, there's nothing better than playing high school football.
And he is full of emotions down here. But thank you, sir. Congratulations on being the Tutor Club Scholar Athlete of the Week. We'll see you next week. Thank you. I'm also down here with a couple of youngsters and a couple of seniors. We're going to get to the seniors first, as it is senior night. I'm down here. First, I got number 78, offensive lineman, Michael Choate. It is a senior. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I see you're a little emotional. Can you go into a little depth on that being your senior night?
Well, this week we had to go against Lake Dallas, as y'all know, and we had a hard team. We had one of the best defensive tackles that we've gone against this year. And getting it down where we could block him and keep him out of the backfield, we had to work hard. I mean, losing by 3 points and working that hard to keep that kid on the line or keep him away from the backfield, it was hard.
Okay, thank you. I'm also going to get to the other senior I have down here, also an offensive lineman, but McKinney has a lot of older players on the offensive lineman compared to where they're younger at the other positions like wide receiver and quarterback. I'm down here with number 50, Michael Savarino. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are a senior also, and this is your last game at home. Can you tell us a little about your emotions tonight?
It just means a lot to us, all the people showing up, and it's difficult to lose like that when you try so hard, and it's a tough loss.
And when I was saying that there's a lot of senior leadership on the offensive line, that was a key point this season and tonight. If you notice in the first half, they came out really strong. And a lot of that has to do with the two Michaels that we have here, Michael Choate and Michael Savarino. We have to say congratulations on a great year, great senior year. Sorry I had to end like this, but good luck in your future in college.
All right.
Thank you. I'm also down here with two younger guys who actually had career nights. I have number 19, Brandon White, and number 14, Jarrett Farley. I'm going to start with Brandon first. You are, what grade are you?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior, okay. And you had a career night. You had, I believe it was either 4 or 5 catches coming into tonight. You had about 3 or 4 tonight to add to that, and averaging about 20 yards per catch.
Yes, sir. I'm trying my best to make the best yardage I can get after the catch just to get my team upfield.
So, gentlemen, this is one of the receivers we have to look to next year. You got a lot of youngsters coming back. I'm also going to move over here to Jared Farley. I know you had a great night.
Oh, yeah. I just got to thank the O-line and my offense and my quarterback for helping me out with that.
You actually had your first career touchdown reception. How did that feel?
It felt pretty good. When I got in there, I was just excited, and I thought, we had it. I thought we had it. We had momentum, but, I mean, things don't always turn out the way you expect.
And you had several catches on the night, and actually You had a couple there towards the end that turned out to be key that were right at the first down marker. Can you tell us a little bit about that final march down the field?
I mean, our quarterback and our coaches set us up perfectly for that. Our O-line helped us out with that, and we just got the right play calling in there, and I just made the plays when I had to.
Thank you very much. And also, I had a very special message from the head coach from the McKinney Lions, Bobby Rays, to his seniors. He said, thanks, guys, for a great year, for all the enthusiasm and hard work that y'all have given this year. Sorry that it didn't turn out the way that y'all would like, but he's going to come back next year and get after it. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks, John. Thank you very much, John Lighty, down on the sidelines once again. And, what can you say? A lot of those seniors will be moving on, and they'll come back next year, and they'll have to sit in the stands, unfortunately, here at Ron Poe Stadium. But
they'll be missed. I mean, don't make a mistake about that. There's a lot of good talent out there, and you almost feel bad for seniors when a new coach comes in and implements a new system, because that's not what these guys have been used to for the last however many years. In some cases 3, in some cases 7, down to junior high. And so, it's tough for them, but at the same time, I mean, these guys have been through a lot. Yep. And and for better or worse, they're tied to their school, and they're going to be back next year, and they're going to be rooting for their former teammates, Lee and Lipkas and things like that, to have success and move on and make the playoffs and then have success further down the road.
Well, we want to let you know that we'll be having highlights come up here in a moment, and also stats from Jay Lindley, and we'll have some scores from around the area. Brandon, you'll give some of those. We want to say congratulations once again to Daniel Brash, who is our Torchmark Corporation star of the game, and he was also our Tutoring Club Scholar Athlete of the Week. So Daniel Brash had a heck of a week. But the McKinney Lions go down in defeat tonight to the Lake Dallas Falcons 24-21. A valiant effort, but they come up just a little bit short and now are 0-6 in district. So we'll be back in a moment with all of the highlights and stats on 97.5 KLAK.